Welcome to Dwarven Forge. This is everything you need to know about our terrain in 60 seconds. Ready? Let's go. We hand sculpt our pieces for maximum detail and artistry, infusing passion into every millimeter of our work. Everything is available beautifully hand painted so you can start playing right away. Or you can choose unpainted to paint everything yourself. Our pieces are completely modular, so you can use the same sets to create a new adventure every time. Most pieces have embedded anchor magnets that affix to our terrain trays for secure building, and for revealing rooms as your players discover them. We create everything out of Dwarvenite, our top secret PVC formula that's nearly indestructible. We pack our pieces with as many features as possible, such as swappable LEDs to quickly change the look of your scene. We offer magnetic accessories to add flavor or increase the danger. A 1-inch tactical grid is sculpted into our floors, hidden in dungeon flagstones, natural rocks, or sticks and plants. In addition to sculpted pieces, we make terrain trays to use as a vibrant graphic base for your build. We offer a range of environments, including dungeons, caverns, cities, castles, sewers, forests, mountains, streets, burrows, ice, and hellscape. And that's just the beginning. We have a passionate fan base who can tell you all about it. And that's everything you need to know about Dwarven Forge in 60 seconds.
Seeing maps and line of sight with the characters moving is a game changer, literally.
The mind-blowing tech that's built into it, not having to use proprietary things, is great because you can have a 3D printer, you can make your own stuff, you can bring your own things to it, and you can still use it with all the stuff you have at home already, but make it even better. I've
Literally tried something with this with just like a TV flat with my computer plugged in, and it was just like such a hassle hiding the map. You just look at this and it's there. It's very awesome.
The games we play are the stories we create.
The fortress doors swing open.
Every story is unique.
And the sound of war drums rises.
Sometimes our stories come to us when we least expect them. We need to be ready no matter where inspiration strikes. And sometimes our stories are told over great distances. No matter where your journey leads you or how your story is told. The games we play are the stories we create. Sirenscape can help make yours epic.
Sirenscape is searchable, fast, and customizable from any device with no need to pre-install any sound. Adding epic atmosphere to your game has never been easier.
Do you miss playing Dungeons & Dragons, or just have a hard time finding a group in your hometown? Maybe you just wish you could play more. On Discord, we created a community of over 100 people who are playing D&D around the clock.
I'm Noggins.
Oh, see.
Cece.
Piotr Strongshield.
Katarina.
Elder Stigivar Baba Negra.
Tayel. Daria.
Kostash Morach.
Elros.
Falfer Softfoot.
Ketis White's fine.
Leslie Reindeer.
Misery Cordelia.
Chardonic Orel.
Bragar Iron Tom.
Dimitri.
Shalara.
Barf Battlebrain.
Atomic Scray, mate.
Shortleaf Frudari.
Warren Greenstep.
Melina Lee.
Sesh Morses.
Malachi Dupraki.
Sera Scholar Life Forger.
Travas.
Tamazar.
Esmeralda Ambershake.
Elder Wattleby.
Dustin Morses.
Morgan Reagan.
Akshay Kirti.
Sterling.
By integrating Discord and D&D Beyond, we're able to provide an immersive experience that is the first of its kind. You can create a character from 1st to 15th level, and then roleplay 24/7 in our Discord channels while combating monsters, crafting weapons, training new skills, and searching for items across our campaign world. You'll also have the chance to participate in random combat encounters and go on monthly virtual quests. Ever wanted to try your hand at being a dungeon master? Or maybe you're an experienced dungeon master and just want the chance to run more adventures. As a community DM, you can run encounters and virtual quests for the community based on monthly modules written by our very own accomplished plot team. Join us.
Join us.
Check it out.
Join the Discord.
Join us!
Join us.
And let's create incredible stories together. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 7 of Tides of Wildemount. It is our Wildemount campaign. Want to run through a couple of quick announcements, and then we will jump right into the action. First off, of course, I want to thank Dungeons & Dragons for creating this incredible game that we know and love and play every single week. I want to thank our first title sponsor, Hero Forge. Hero Forge has an incredible online tool for creating miniatures that you can either print yourself and paint, or you can order fully painted, or you can order to paint. Lots of opportunities, lots of options. You can check them out at heroforge.com. They also allow the opportunity for you to create avatars and such of your characters full color, and they're releasing so many new features and functionalities. That's not even a term. And the ability to do other things outside of actual miniature creation as well, that you can use for your tabletop gaming experience. So check them out, heroforge.com. Also want to thank Sirenscape, our other main title sponsor. They have an incredible online tool for creating ambience and adding sounds and sound effects to your game. You can check them out at sirenscape.com/RealmSmith. We've created a lot of content for them. In fact, our resident Brandon Perkins has done a lot of work for Sirenscape. So you can check it out at sirenscape.com/RealmSmith. And our third main title sponsor is Game Board. We want to welcome again Game Board, brand new main title sponsor. We still have a Game Board coming to us. It is on its way, I am told, and we will be using it. It was used throughout Champions of the Realm, and we're excited to put it on the board for people to play on it. It is going to be awesome. That is thelastgameboard.com. Check them out. Lots of things coming up. March, I am gone most of the month. D&D in a Castle is happening. Make sure that you check that out if you're interested in playing with me at my table in a castle in Britain, England. What is it called? Britain, England? It is England.
Britland?
Great Britain, England? Anyways, over there, over the seas. I'm going to be in a castle with some amazing people, DMing, and it's going to be awesome. So check it out at dndinacastle.com for that information. And you can join up and sign up to play with me, and then you get to hang out with all those awesome people. So make sure that you check that out. Also, D3 at Sea is coming up very, very soon. That is a D&D cruise experience. Brandon Perkins and David Moore are actually going to be there as well, and they're going to guest at my table while I run some stuff. As well, Omega Jones will be there. Mark Muir is also going to be there, and a bunch of other really awesome celebrity DMs. So check that out, D3 at Sea. And then, of course, Satine's Quest in May as well. I will be one of the celebrity DMs on that as well, and looking forward to it. Lots of fun stuff coming up. Our Patreon/Discord is firing on all cylinders. If you're interested in joining our Discord, you can check that out. Link is in the chat. Or you can go to patreon.com/RealmSmith and join as a patron, and then add and have the access and the ability to roleplay in our Discord servers, our role-playing servers, which run alongside of our narrative. And in fact, the cast is now moving into the area where our Discord folks exist and live and roleplay. And so this is a bit of you'll be able to see how those two worlds kind of interact. And it will also allow the cast, if they have the time and are interested in doing so, to jump into the Discord in between sessions, because we'll probably be in the Herethis Enclave for the next couple sessions. So we're very excited about that. So check it out, patreon.com/RealmSmith, and join us playing in our fun Discord role-playing servers and channels. Server channels within the server. Champions of the Realm was amazing. What an incredible experience that was. It is now done. I don't want to spoil for anybody who hasn't watched it. It's been all over social, so if you've been living under a rock, I don't want to spoil who won. But we do have a champion, but you can check it out at championsoftherealm.com is all the information that you need, or youtube.com/RealmSmith to check out the VODs or the VODs for that season. Really amazing. We're discussing what is next for Champions of the Realm as we speak. We're very, very proud of it and are very thankful for everyone who joined us. Mark Muir joined us last week on our session in last week's episode. He is gone for the next couple sessions, this one and the next one, because he is traveling and doing a bunch of awesome things that Mark Muir does, but he will be joining us again later in the series. I want to thank our Smithgardians and our Realm Watchers, of course. We do have a new Smithgardian, James /Roman Wolf from our Discord server is joining us as one of our new Smithgardians. I want to welcome him and thank him for joining us on this awesome adventure. We also have merch. You can check it out under each of the videos on Twitch and on YouTube. We have lots of fun stuff for both campaigns. You can check those out and wear our merch while watching our streams, which is really super cheesy. And I probably shouldn't have said. But anyways, it's fun, and it's awesome, and it's a great way to represent your love for what we do, and it helps us as well. Aftermath this Thursday. We're no longer talking, of course, about Champions of the Realm. There will be a bit, maybe. We're probably going to do some debriefing on Champions of the Realm and how we felt about it and all of that fun stuff. But we'll also, of course, be talking about Tides moving forward. And if you like what you see today, make sure that you subscribe and that you follow us on Twitch and hit that little bell icon on YouTube to let you know when we go live. Thank you so much for joining us. Without further ado, let us venture into the wild. All right, welcome back, everyone. This is episode 7 of Tides of Wildemount. Do we have Sirenscape on?
Should be.
Okay, cool. First off, cast, welcome to level 6. As usual, we will be doing kind of the level up throughout your travel to the Herethis Enclave, which is where you're heading currently. We also do have another mystery guest who will be joining us.
I'm scared.
What?
I'm scared!
I was like, what's Scaod? Is that some sort of creature? Is that are you multi-classing as a Scaod?
Scaod.
We'd like to
Hello,
welcome
my name is Scaod.
our mystery guest.
Our mystery guest. Anyways.
Ironically immune to being frightened.
Yes. Oh, very. I see what you did there, Nora. That's so great. All right. Last we left you all, you were in the Order of the Cleric Order of the Lycans encampment. You had gone there because some of you had been bitten by werewolves, and a number of Lycans actually came to your rescue during that time. You spent some time with the director of the Cleric Order, and he helped to figure out whether or not some of you have been afflicted or not, and proceeded to jab you with all sorts of instruments in order to find out what that was. Lots of fun, actually, in that episode. During that process, though, Plonk had a bit of a change of heart / gab. And obviously, leading up to that point, he had seemed a bit distant. He had seemed like there were some issues with him and the party, and not necessarily seeing eye to eye. And through all of that, decided to kind of take a break and a step away from the party. Gaziel also saying that since you were at the Zin's encampment, things had changed for her from a leading perspective. That she felt led, and that her destiny currently was tied to Plunk's, and she decided to stay with him in the encampment as well. Having been all healed of your lycanthropy, you started to head out, and we closed the episode with the encampment doors of the palisade closing with Plunk and Gaziel inside. Again, welcome to level 6. Congratulations. It is going to take about 6 days travel north on the main road to get to the Herethis Enclave. If there are any things that you want to do during that 6 days, let me know throughout your travel. You are short 1 pony, but you're also short 2 adventurers. So you are led back to the wagon that you had, and start on your way again north through that main road on the way to Herethis through this Searing Green forest. If there's anything you want to do, let me know, and then we will kind of expedite travel with a couple moments here and there, and then we'll arrive. Anyone?
So we left off and we said that one of the members of the order was going to go and warn
yes,
the city?
They were going to take care of that.
Okay.
Of telling Trostelwald about the issues that the Lycans.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyone? No?
Nothing specifically.
Okay. I figured Omega would have something.
I was hoping that one of them would start.
Yeah.
I mean, not much. Really not much that needs to be spoken about.
Okay. Okay. Stuff that
I
we
will
know.
just say that along the way for that we're walking, Sera definitely starts to feel a strange sensation from the soles of her feet.
Okay.
Since they've rested.
Yeah. Okay, and that will actually lead me to the second night that you camp, Sera. You are sitting around the fire one night, And it has been a little time since you have communed with your love. And every once in a while it comes, and we know that she tends to communicate with you through flame. It's happened at a hearth before, and it's happened in a number of different places and in a number of different ways. Once again, as you sit around the fire, you feel that draw again from the flames. And as you kind of peer into the flickering fire, you see those familiar orbs, those eyes kind of staring back at you. And immediately, and you know, whenever this happens, you feel like everything around you, everything that surrounds you kind of dims. It kind of falls away as you feel that draw and that inner voice begin to call to you.
Are you there?
I am.
So much has happened since I last saw you.
It has been some time. I have missed you.
I missed you too.
You have
Are you gonna...
done much. I sense your growth.
It's just that I have kind of gotten lost in the adventure, and we had to leave behind a couple of our friends, and it's just a strange feeling that I hate the idea of getting close to somebody and then having to say goodbye. And it made me think of you.
Do not lose sight, my love. We draw closer. Closer to your destiny.
Do you know if they're still looking for me?
I do not. But I would assume they are. But no one else matters. It is you and it is I, and we will be together soon. Keep your eyes
Promise.
on our purpose. Keep your eyes on our destiny.
What if I'm not strong enough?
You're not. But we are.
I wish this wasn't the only way that we could speak.
It won't be for long. But here, take my hand. And you watch as kind of a fiery palm emanates from kind of the center of the campfire. And all of you are kind of sitting around discussing.
What a good campfire it is.
What a good campfire it is. You're nice and warm. It's cool in the forest. You've been traveling for some time. You're a little weary, I should say, travel weary. And you do notice that Sera in that moment, kind of like, all of a sudden she stops kind of being part of the conversation. You can see she's kind of blankly staring into the fire.
Until Sera starts reaching her hand out.
And she starts to reach her hand out towards the fire.
And I will try to take her hand.
Yeah. You watch Sera reach into the fire and almost like she's holding something. And her hand is up to her forearm currently in the bonfire. Unmoving, unfaltering. Sera, at this point, you feel the warmth kind of envelop you. You feel the heat. You feel a connection to your love that you haven't felt previously. A deeper, closer connection. And for the first time, you feel almost like you feel her energy. Not just her presence, but her actual energy. And you feel your skin tingle, and the rest of you see the fire starting to catch sort of on her garments and clothing and such. And Sera, in that moment, you also feel like the air around you begins to warm, begins to feel lighter, begins to almost feel, I wouldn't even say lighter. I would say you feel lighter, and the air around you feels almost palpable, like you can touch it. It feels thicker in the moment, almost like the heat that is emanating from the fire is causing you to change your ability to move through space. And you all watch as she begins to hover slightly above the ground, as she kind of sits with her hand in the fire currently.
Why is she flying?
Who's flying?
Well, it's Sera.
I just watch her. I don't know her well to know what's going on, but I know she has a connection to something. So I'm just watching to see if I think she's in danger.
She doesn't seem to be, and you kind of watch her go, like it's hot. She's feeling it.
Like her skin,
but she's not screaming.
Her skin's not like blistering or anything.
Well, currently, I mean, she's got garments on, and her garments are catching fire, and her hand is absolutely getting red, and it looks like it's being affected by the fire, but it's not like bursting into flames. Sera, in that moment, you all watch, and you hear a voice say to you, "A gift."
Thank you.
I will see you soon.
I hope so.
At that moment, Sera settles back down where she was sitting, and your hand is in the fire, and it is just in the fire, and you pull it back, and the pain exists, but it has not done as much damage as you imagine it would be. And the rest of you look at her hand, and it looks like for the time that she had spent with her hand in the fire, it would have done a lot more damage than it actually did. And you take 4 points of fire damage.
Death.
She was floating with her hand in the fire.
Oh, I thought somebody was cooking meat.
Yes, I was given a gift.
Is this a gift from someone that can be trusted? You were floating and seemingly hurt yourself within the flame.
She's the reason why I'm here.
As far as I know, it was just a normal bonfire. I just do the same thing every time.
It was the same fire, just for the time being, that's the only way I could see her.
I'm going to reach out and grab Sera's hand, and there's just going to be a gust of wind that just envelops it to cool it off as best as possible. If this gift giver of yours is forcing you to walk into fire, that does give me pause, but if you trust them...
Well, it's not that she's making me walk into fire, it's that's what she is, if that makes sense.
She is flame?
It's how I see her.
Well, we can all use all the gifts we can get. And as I pull away, the gust is still there ever so slightly, just helping cool it off as much as possible, and then it just slowly dissipates.
Thank you.
Of course. And I just look at the other three, and Elias. Does anyone else have someone giving them gifts to walk into flames? Because that's going to be something new.
Not me. You?
No, of course I could try.
Well, please don't.
No, you don't.
Fire is not sort of something I No. I deliver gifts of the bullet sort, and I don't really take gifts of fire, so that can be your thing, and my thing will be something entirely different.
Elias does kind of sit and watch as this has happened, and is kind of taking it all in. And you've noticed, too, that, you know, he was quite friendly when you first met him. He's been seemingly quieter since he has been away from his people. A bit more distant, introspective, short, but still a part of the party, it feels. But he just kind of like watches Sera, as this is kind of the first time he's seen anything like this from her.
It's, you know, relationships get complicated and such. It's fine.
Yes, I do see that you are quite a strange group. Many secrets, interesting abilities. Yes.
Well, I sort of a question. If you're willing to sort of reveal these sorts of things, I'd just like to know who I'm sort of traveling with. And you said you're wanted by people. Is this sort of thing something that's going to possibly put me in harm's way, or should we be on the lookout for something?
Yeah, probably.
What did you do, if I may?
Oh, I'll let them explain, because I wasn't there for that part either.
Well, you know the Clovis Concord. It's full of assholes, and we killed a few of them.
Ah.
Yes, we angered their leader and have been sort of on the run. They have a lot of influence on the coast, but that's why part of the reason we came here.
I should state
from the coast.
From the coast.
Mm.
I should specify. It was self-defense. They attacked us first.
Yes, we simply returned.
So was this sort of like a few sort of people you dispatched, or is this like you're wanted for like death sort of thing? Like it was a lot. How bad is it?
Well, I don't believe they want us dead, but I haven't seen the posters. But I believe that the cash reward is quite high. I think yes, we are quite wanted.
It's enough to be very flattered.
Yes, I've never been worth so much in my life.
And neither of you were sort of around when they did all this murder?
No, I'm being followed for other reasons.
Cool.
And well, murder implies so much more.
Yes.
Meanness.
It was self-defense, as I said before. They started the fight and we ended it.
Aha.
How can we be blamed for being such effective fight enders?
Exactly.
So would it be accurate to say then you're in the Empire now as sort of like refugees, sort of running on the run?
Yes.
I suppose, yes.
That's
yes.
fun.
Refugee would be the wrong word, because that would infer that the Empire knows what happened.
Right.
Well, I guess not within any official
yes.
status, but maybe on a...
Just sort of on the run in the Empire.
Yes.
Fugitives.
We are on the run, yes.
That's the word. Fugitives, not refugees.
There we go.
That's the one. That's
Yes.
the one.
The Clovis Concord has no dominion in the Dundalian Empire, as you should know. And I am assuming they are here to make sure that they can't be followed, even though they were for the first day. I just do not believe they will be followed this far up.
They don't have
That
any
would be
sort of,
quite foolish of the Concord.
there's no sort of agents that they would send in to retrieve or extract.
They could. I am more than positive they have the means to do so. The question is, would they risk doing such a thing when the Empire has eyes and ears everywhere?
Cool.
There's a point. There's no sense in letting our guard down now. We don't know that we're safe.
That's sort of why I was asking, how wanted is the party? Because if you're really wanted, they'll probably send someone. If you're not so wanted, like it's just, if you go back to the Menagerie Coast, then it'll probably be fine.
And that is one thing we all have in common. The order that I am a part of, I must say, is not necessarily the Empire's favorite.
Why is that?
They disagree. There is a misconception about what we do and how we do it. But it's okay. We all have our own crosses to bear.
They don't like that you're stopping lichens from spreading lycanthropy?
It's our methods. I mean, they would imagine that all lycanthropes are a curse. We have learned how to harness certain things to make a better world. Lycanthropy and other sorts of things.
I imagine it would be the same as harnessing the power of fire.
Or shadow.
To be honest, I'm surprised that they wouldn't want to look into that as well and just to weaponize it.
But I don't think blood magic is sort of a cool thing. Seems a bit odd and maybe not so accepted because it's blood and blood is icky.
Yes, blood. Where would the blood come from? Whose blood?
I think
the loudest sigh just comes from Zimric.
I think you're fine. I'm just saying I think I understand why maybe blood magic is sort of icky.
I think it has less to do with the type of magic and more to do with the fact that there's an organization that's secretive and the Empire doesn't know much about it. I am more than certain that the Empire wants to know everything when they can, and when they don't know something, that becomes a problem.
Yes, the Empire seeks to control, and what they can't control, they destroy.
Plus, there's ickier things, like necromancy, I suppose.
Aberrations.
What's a little blood magic?
For those of you that are new to the Empire, not everything is always what it seems. There are depths, layers, like an onion or an egg. I like eggs.
Someone sounds hungry.
I am.
Have you ever lived in the swamp?
I've heard that onions are a lot more like ogres than anything.
Ogres.
Either way, we should probably head back to sleep or start going to sleep. I would not like this conversation to continue.
Okay. With that, you all start to kind of prepare dinner for the night. You all take out your rations and you heat whatever you can over the fire. But you've lived on rations, and I would take off another 2 days of rations up to this point because you've traveled for another 2 days. And Snow.
Yes.
As you rest in for the evening, settle in, your mind goes, of course, to your sister. And every day you think about her a little less. It gets a little bit easier. And that meaning that the first few days, it's all you thought about.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's most of the day. Or as much as you think that Snow would. But the idea is that obviously time heals, and it's just there are other things that are happening, and the further you get from that moment, the more you're trying to kind of overcome it, as I imagine that would be the case. But you do go, because you just spoke about it, every night, as has been the case since you left her, or since she left you, really, your mind is on her.
Mm-hmm.
When things settle down, when there's no combat or conversation, your mind tends to rest on her fate and what may have happened. And as you fall asleep, you're woken by a very familiar voice in your dreams. And you hear, Snow. It's the voice of your sister.
And this is in a dream?
And as you wake up, seemingly, give me a perception check.
It's a 15.
Yeah, with a 15, you know you're dreaming. This is clearly a dream. And she is, you see her face very close, as though almost like you're holding her cheeks. And all you see is basically chin to forehead. And she looks at you very, very close, and she says, mind yourself.
What do you mean, mind myself?
Be careful.
I'm always careful. I have to be. For the longest time, my whole life was about protecting you, and now, what?
Now you are free. You no longer have to worry about me and us and the revelry. You are free.
I am still angry. You did not have to do that.
I understand your anger, but make sure it is pointed in the right direction. Don't be angry at me. Be angry at those that did this to you. Be angry at those that would take me from you.
They did take you from me. As far as I know, you are dead.
I am here. I am with you always.
And as she says that, your view starts to pan out. And as it begins to pan out, immediately you're struck with pain and sorrow as you realize it is just her head. And from the bottom of her neck that has been severed sits a pike that has been jabbed into the bottom of it. And as you continue to pan back, you see her blood has crusted along the neck, the rest of her body missing. And as your view pans out even further, you realize that you're on the path leading up to the throne roost in Darktoe. And lined beside her are the heads of those that, as a revelry member, you have taken the lives of, giving their heads to the Plain King. And in that moment, you watch as she closes her eyes and kind of bows her head a little bit. And you hear a bellowing laugh. Clearly, the Plain King's emanating from up the roost. And you wake up. And you look around and you are surrounded by your companions at the same campfire or campsite that you were at. I'm assuming within the hut.
Okay. Does it sound like everybody's asleep?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll sit silently for that moment. Anger is still stoked at the Plank King, in fact, stoked further than ever before. To me, this is confirmation of the fate of my sister. And so I'll sit and I'll stew in it for a time and probably won't be going back to sleep.
Okay. And you feel that anger build. You feel that resentment. Mm-hmm. And her words and her caution to you to point your anger in the correct direction towards the revelry, towards the Coldest Concord, towards those that caused this to be what it is, and for you not to be in your home anymore. It starts to boil and it starts to build within you.
Yeah. As a tabaxi, we tend to get obsessions, and my obsession for my whole life was protecting my sister. And now that she is dead, The obsession is to kill the planking.
All right. Okay. You all get up in the morning. You do your thing. You travel for another number of days. Take 2 more days of rations, please, off.
I will be enjoying Yanel's cooking.
Okay. Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty out too. If there's a chance, I would like kind of find some, not a whole montage, but go find some small game, some herbs, some like mushrooms, things of that nature that we can scavenge.
Sure. So you forage and you scavenge, and
Yeah.
Yanil, takes a lot of pride in the ability to create food, and she's like, "Oh, sure, now everybody wants some sort of like." She doesn't say that, but she kind of takes that sort of like air of like being a little proud of her being able to do this for the party.
For the record, I never had anything against the porridge. I thought it was so inventive of you.
I ate 2 bowls before, remember?
That's great. During these 2 days, Snow, you feel like the time that you've spent with the party and the time that you've spent in training has given you the ability to be more confident with fighting with 2 weapons. And of course, that is what you have gained in your ability to, or your level up to 6. Gregory, your time with the party has made you more adept in a number of different ways. What is it that you got a ability score?
Yeah, my dex
increase
and my wisdom.
Yeah, so you're feeling a lot more aware. Your awareness of the world in general, your street smarts, you feel even being with the party and being having the ability to interact with more cultures and more of the world than you have in your time has given you kind of a greater awareness of the world around you, as well as the amount of combat that you've encountered in this short amount of time has been more than you've had almost in the entirety of your kind of adventuring life, and has given you the ability to do that. And with that, and because of that, you're finding yourself to be more adept with your firearm, I should say. Bolt, as well, with the work that you did with Gregory on his weapon and so on, you also feel more adept with your tools. You feel like you've gained a greater understanding and almost doubled your knowledge of your ability to use your tools to do the things that you do. And have gained somewhat of an expertise with your tools that you did not have before. On the, I said 2 more days, at the end of the 4th day of travel, you all kind of sit around the fire again, you all have your meal, you all go to bed. And as you sleep, Zin, your mind begins to dream. And immediately it flashes back to your training. And you train with I should say with a, and for some reason in this specific dream, your trainer has no face. Wrapped in mystery and secrecy. And even though you know who your trainer was, in this moment you can't remember quite what they look like for some reason within your dream. Just blank face. And you turn and you spin as you train with your trainer. And in that moment, you can kind of feel that a lot of the training is coming back to you, almost like it's speeding through what you had learned up to that point. And not only that, but also through the things that he taught you that you didn't quite catch at the time, but that you're starting to kind of gain an understanding of. Mixing spell and sword. And also his ability to harness the air around you, the movement of the wind, to be able to harness that as part of your combat ability. And with the time that you've spent with the party in combat, even in this short amount of time, and remembering your training, you feel like you're able to, you become more adept with your weapons. that you can attack more than you used to be able to. Immediately while you're, and this is a very peaceful, it's actually quite a nice memory for you, this training. You remember it fondly. This was when you became who you felt like you wanted to be. Like you were able to harness the abilities within you to be able to defend yourself and to defend others and to fight for yourself. But in the middle of that joy and that feeling of accomplishment, you feel a kind of a tinge of pain. And it flashes to a room, and it flashes back, and you're training again. And you kind of shake it off, and you continue to train. It flashes back and it flashes in. And it flashes faster and faster until finally the world kind of peels away, and you are now lying on a table. And you look down, and you are strapped to this table. Manacles and heavy leather straps. You get the sense of discomfort, and an immediate feeling of searing pain hits you. There's a smell of searing flesh, and the buzz of magical energy emanates as you look up at the ceiling in this room. And as you kind of like turn your head to the side, you see faceless people kind of looming over you, kind of buzzing around you as pain hits you again and again and again. And in that moment, there's a moment of confusion that you feel in this dream. The question in your mind is, did I choose this? Did this choose me? Why is so much pain and suffering required? Is it worth it? Is it meant to be? Or am I just a pawn? Those are the thoughts that kind of strike through. And there is a seed of resentment that is buried in your gut that you feel kind of flourish slightly. This, with every searing moment of pain, you feel a little bit of anger kind of rise, and then you calm it. And it raises, and you calm it down. And finally, one last searing moment of pain, and you come back to consciousness, sweating, realizing it was all a dream, looking around at your members, lying around you in your hut on the fourth night.
Is everyone asleep?
Yes.
I will take a moment to wipe my face. Obviously, a little discombobulated, but comes to. Looks around for a moment to see just where everyone is. Instinctively, a hand goes to the wrapping that's on both of my arms. Specifically, my left hand goes over the right set of wrappings. I just kind of unwrap it ever so little just to see that everything is still intact. I will retie it. I'll reach into my bag. I'm going pretty, not moving so anyone wakes up. But I'll reach into the bag that I have, pull out some parchment and a paper. Parchment and a quill, my apologies. And I'll just start to write, and I'll look around at everyone as I'm writing. And once I get done, I'll look at that paper for a long time. I'll stare at Sera for a moment. I'll stare at Snow for a moment. I'll fold that paper up, and then I'll toss it in the flame.
Okay.
And then I'll go back to sleep.
All right. Sleep takes you once again. You guys wake up on the 5th day. Take another day of rations off.
Thanks, Chanel.
6th day, you're getting pretty sick of the porridge. But she feels again like she's done her part.
Try it with nutmeg. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
You do manage to gather some small game and so on and so forth throughout the time. But for the most part, it's porridge. On the 6th day, about halfway through the day, you head up the north road until you see a clearing begin to open. And you notice up ahead, and this is some, I'd say 100 feet ahead, you see that the forest kind of ends and then opens up into a massive, what appears to be a massive space. And in the distance, you see, in the far distance, you see like a palisade. Somewhere in the center of this large clearing. And you see a tower to the right at the opening of this clearing, at the end of the, where the kind of the forest opens up, there's a tower to the right of the road that looms over the road. Currently, you are still quite a ways back in the darkness of the forest, the canopy kind of covering the road as it were. But you do see that there is a clearing in the distance. What do you do?
What do you suppose that tower is?
Not too sure, but I can sneak my way on up and see what I can see. If you just give me a moment.
I can get closer without you needing, or anyone physically needing to be there, if you don't want to risk yourself.
That's a neat trick.
We should
All right.
do that.
It's not a trick, and I guess point to Tajna, who goes,
Right. Beds.
1 second. And I put my hand back on Bolt. And I go into Tajna. I put my consciousness into the bird, and the bird will fly forward just to see what's forward.
Okay, all right. As Tajna kind of flies out across, you see she and you see a massive clearing that looks like what appears to be some sort of encampment, some sort of settlement. It's circular, so that the actually, I will show you. The area seems to be kind of a circular opening. Different buildings seem to be in different sections of this circle. And then within the middle of the circle, you see a massive gaping shaft, a hole, that goes down into the earth, surrounded by a palisade with 2 towers that overlook it. You also see cranes on the edge of this pit that have ropes that extend down. You see a number of people milling about, dozens of people milling about the area. Again, it's about mid-afternoon at this point.
Okay. Seeing that, that's kind of like a slight little, not really going completely to it. She'll just kind of fly and just kind of perch and look, fly a little up, seeing that hole, cocking the head. And then she'll fly back as I come out of her. And I'll just say, I believe we might have found our destination, which is good. Can I know of a 2 seconds. Yes. I know about there being a mine or something here, and I'm assuming it looks mine-like.
Yeah, you imagine that this is the Herethis settlement that you had been told about, that you all knew that you were coming to.
Yeah. And I'll say, yeah, I am almost positive we have made it to our destination. Good, we didn't die.
That's always a good thing.
So what are we doing now that we're here?
I believe Elias had something to do here, and I also heard about this place, and I wanted to stop by, give it a look out before we continue forward. It was also a nice place to rest, I'm assuming. It seems busy, like there's activity, but less construction, more like it's being lived in.
Yes, I wanted to accompany you this way, but my work is not here in the mind. I need to move north to Deerstock. But if you plan to stay here for some time, maybe I can meet back here with you when you are done, when I am done.
Well, I wouldn't mind sort of finding money. I'm a little short on money, and I need to buy things to make more bullets. Assuming, assuming at some point that's not going to be a thing. Don't know. Maybe make a new gun. There's different things that sort of happen. But I need to make some money. I was hoping to get the reward for helping the people of Trossenwald, and that didn't really sort of happen, so...
Maybe you could find some work here. I wouldn't mind picking up some more rations.
Not that your breakfast hasn't been...
No, not that. Just,
delicious.
you know, just thought we could give, you know, you do so much. You need to relax. You know, you look like you could sleep in every once in a while.
Of life, they say.
I get it. I ate it for many centuries.
It's also a spell, you know, a part of you that you don't have to use for internal consumption.
I ate it for 400 years. I don't blame any of you for not wanting to.
Did you say 400 years?
Did you say 400 years?
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe there's something to her porridge. Maybe we should, if we ate it,
I
we
was
would live longer.
imprisoned for some time. Long story. Anyways, yes, food. Yes, food would be good.
Do I have any knowledge of like the lifespan of turtles?
Nature check.
400 years, Jesus.
Not super duper. 8.
You imagine that, well, turtles are very wise. And you know that tortoises live a long time. So you imagine that she probably live up to 100, but 400 seems a little excessive than 8.
How have you lived 400 years?
Oh, it's a long story.
This has been just the porridge sustaining you?
No. Long story. Perhaps we can discuss over a
Let's
meal.
walk and talk.
Yes.
All right. Seems a bit weird.
At this point, Elias turns to all of you and says, I will take my leave here. There is a stream west of the Enclave, and it heads north towards Deerstock. I will meet you afterwards, yes?
We meet you there, or you come back
No,
here?
I will come back if you are going to be here for a couple days.
Okay. Suppose we'll find out.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to do what you have to do.
I can contact you if necessary. I do have that ability. It travels like the wind.
Well, all the best. And he kind of turns and he heads west into the forest and disappears into the trees.
I suppose that blood isn't going to hunt itself.
I suppose.
I heard that. That was a good one. And as he kind of walks off.
Quite a rotating group, don't we? Comings and goings.
We all have our errands, I suppose.
I suppose.
Speaking of which, I wonder if there's somewhere here where we may be able to find a bit more affordable items. Remember that last store was pretty pricey.
That's sort of why I would like to make some money, because I don't have a whole lot left.
Right.
Well, let's explore then.
Okay. You start to
Continue
head
on.
forward. Okay. As you head forward, you close the distance, and about 30 feet out, I'd say about 50 feet out, the trees, the canopy starts to kind of clear, and you can see more of the tower. And in the tower, you see a guard who kind of watches you, but does not kind of react, kind of looks at you, realizes or understands, and is kind of sizing you up, but isn't stopping you in any way, seemingly from progressing forward. And this guard is clearly
wearing the colors of the Crown's Guard. Like, it's clearly a guard of the Empire.
Are you guys wanted by these people too?
I'm sorry, what does he look like? Or maybe, let me rephrase that.
Crown's Guard.
Crown's Guard.
Crown's Guard.
No.
Not wanted by them. Only.
As far as we know, no.
I don't think so.
Hello! And I'll just wave up at the Crown's Guard.
The individual kind of looks down at you and kind of like raises a hand like this.
Good day.
Greetings.
Is there some kind of like town crier or like a job board where we can make some money?
Yes.
I think he's auditioning right now.
Yes. Welcome to the Herethis Enclave. You can find whatever you need. You are welcome here. Just no trouble.
Just that way?
Towards civilization, yes.
Perfect. I'm Gregory, by the way.
Oh, Jesus.
He nods.
Zin just like stares at Gregory for a long time before he's.
I'm just being friendly.
Here's a hypothesis.
He's a what?
Okay. If these folks were wanted by them, would you A, be quiet to make sure that no attention is brought to them, B, be as loud as possible, announcing not just your purpose, but also your name so it can be tracked, or C, none of the above?
Well, they're not wanted, though. I just asked him.
I just walk. I walk right by. That's actually like a gust of wind that almost pushes you as I walk by. It's like, I can't deal.
You just see like Sera also just shakes her head and like puts like almost like shoves Gregory away from her, and he could feel it in her handprint heat that had emanated onto his clothing, just like he put a hot iron. Just
ouch! You should all try to be a little more friendly. Goodness.
Make that dang gun jam, watch.
Good. All right. As you kind of enter the clearing, immediately to the left, you see what appears to be a number of yurts. You imagine probably just over a dozen. Large, tents, circular, strong timbers, semi-permanent yurts, and you see that there is a fire pit kind of that's not lit right now in the center of this clearing. To the right, to the distance a little bit, you see a collection of tents, much smaller than the yurts, standard tents, but look like semi-permanent tents within that area. This encampment of tents seem to be constructed of some of the toughest textiles and somewhat quaint. And you do see that there are people kind of milling about within that area. Ahead, the road extends about 100 feet until it comes to another road that goes that kind of splits and surrounds in a circle a kind of inner area of the enclave. This has a number of buildings that are kind of interspersed in and around that area. The immediate buildings that you see in front, the first one is a large pavilion tent just to the right of the road. It's a large open-walled timber frame pavilion. Large wooden tables and benches you can see through the open sides stand in rows, and there are a number of people that are sitting at it, seemingly talking and eating and milling about. And you can see that there are rolled tarps that can be dropped potentially to make this kind of an enclosed building as well. Just to the left of that, you see a 2-story building, which is made of solid beams and red timbers. A large sign you can see hangs actually facing kind of the road, showing a stormy cloud with silver rain falling from it. You can hear sounds of laughter and coming from that specific building. And then just past that is a circular palisade The palisade is like 15 to 20 feet tall. There is a large door in this end of the palisade, or two large palisade doors that are open currently. And through there, you see kind of dust that is sort of lingering in the air. You hear scraping and pulling and ropes being pulled taut. You see that there are two towers that kind of look over this area, and you can see that there are a set of guards in each tower. And then there are other buildings kind of further into this area that kind of create this concentric circle around the area. What do you do?
Does it seem like there is a visitors bureau in this place?
That's what I was gonna-
Travel and tourism center.
Seem like there's
welcome
like
to-
a central hall of some sort,
Information
something that seems
desk.
like it's right.
Yeah, a
Human
kiosk,
resources.
perhaps.
Like a map
A
with some, like
kiosk with like a
features.
"You are here."
Like a mall-style
wanna-
touchscreen.
Yeah.
Color-coded.
I was along the similar, just to see if there are any, both to see if there are any of those posters plastered here.
Yep.
Also, any town gossip.
Yes, perception checks.
Perception.
For those that would like to know.
13.
Okay.
See, I gotta add stuff.
Ooh, nat 20.
Nat 20.
What?
No,
Ooh!
Dirty 20.
17
Dirty
for me.
3.
Forge gaming. Forge gaming.
Forge gaming. Okay, sorry, what?
What was
Natural
that?
20 for you.
Natural 20.
That was it being
27.
hit by the natural
27.
Yeah.
Zin, 13.
13.
20.
Yeah.
20.
3.
3. Bolt, you are just so enamored with the cranes that you see that kind of exist on top of and how they're like working and the mechanisms that they're there. You have not noticed any of the rest of the settlement.
Bolt. Do you think it'd be funny if I shot the rope on one of those cranes?
Funny? Yes. Wouldn't that just break it?
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I'm just saying, wouldn't it be funny though?
Okay, yeah, then yes. It would. Yes, it would.
Sierra, what did you roll?
17.
Okay. All right. So with the 13, right? Or 15, Zen?
13.
13. With the 13 and the 17, you can, it's quite clear that the building just to the left of the road that you see with that sign is a tavern, perhaps. Just past that is a larger building that you imagine would potentially be an inn or a place to stay at. That's the one with the two peaks on it. And then past that, to the left, you see just the edge of what appears to be a market square. So you imagine that maybe that would be a bit of a hub for information and for some things. And then just past that market square, you see a large building that bears the banners of the Dwendalian Empire. That looks a lot more like an official type, maybe government sort of building. Okay. With your 27, Snow, you kind of close your eyes and you take it all in. And you can hear and feel kind of the general disposition in the area. So you sense purpose, happiness, hard work. You can hear all the gears and so on moving within the mine. You can hear people who are discovering things and the voices of excitement as things are discovered and explored within the mine area and in the opening of the mine. You hear the laughter from the tavern. You hear the dinging sound of a blacksmith to the right around the side. You hear kind of a commotion, and you hear people yelling and selling their wares in the market just to the left. And so you have quite a distinct understanding of the way that the general and very specific feeling of this place. It's actually quite tantalizing. It's actually quite exciting. It feels like a frontier town of exploration and excitement. Yeah.
The market is over there. The blacksmith is over there, and
And the cranes are over
He
there.
just starts that. You hear horses actually past the palisade on the other side. So you imagine there's like stables on that
there's a
side.
stable. We can put our horses and perhaps our wagons.
And at this point, you all kind of look at each other. That Snow has very clearly picked out all of these kind of areas. You got a 20 as well, right? Dirty
Just
20?
dirty 20.
Yeah, so with the dirty 20, you get the full layout kind of understanding. What you notice that Snow does not is that it appears like there are similar buildings in sections or organized into areas that surround the mine itself. There are tents, and then there are yurts, and then past the yurts, you see what appear to be hovels, like kind of more rustic, sort of simply built sort of one-room buildings. Past that, you see these cottages that exist on what appears to be a bluff that rises from the ground, and you can see that there are cottages. And then across the way, you see a bit of a more higher ground with these manors that sit. It's just a handful of like large buildings that exist on that side, and it appears like the quality and type of building gets more and more valuable or expensive as it goes around in a clockwise pattern across the outer kind of rim of the settlement.
Definitely sort of tiered structure to the society here. There's some fancy chalets up there.
Interesting.
And you do hear Snow with that 27 that there's definitely, and a lot of you see that there's a lot of people milling about. The mixture of races and cultures in this place is quite a bit different than you've seen other places in the Empire, especially you, Zin, and especially you, Gregory. Like it's clear that this place is a hubbub and a bit of a melting pot for cultures and people. In fact, you're seeing even in some cases what you would say maybe monster races that aren't necessarily usually welcomed within the Empire, or at least during war times have not been welcome within the Empire. And Snow, you hear there's a distinct difference that you sense with some of the conversation that you have as you all move in kind of the central road up to the Palisade area, that some people are here for a purpose, working, living. You hear them talking about their gardens. You hear them talking about local kind of things that they obviously know about. And then you hear, as people pass, people who are just visiting. So travelers who are just passing through the forest along the road, maybe from Deastock to the border or whatever. So there is a mix of people who live here and who belong here, and then there are people who are just visiting and traveling.
That's quite a
Lot
mix
of
of different types of people here. I think we will be welcome.
Well, at least we wouldn't stand out as much.
Yes, that would be nice for once.
Very true.
Yeah. It looks like there is a building to the left that has the visage of the Dwellian Empire. I would assume, since nothing else does, as I can see at this moment, that might be the first place to stop.
I think so. I'd like to know if we'd be safe here.
That or the tavern. See if there's some sort of local rumors or jobs that need to be done. Because I could really, again, use some money.
Of course, of course. We do still have our task for Young Hill, so...
Is that here?
No, that is
No.
farther out. But this is a good place for respite, at least for a bit.
Indeed.
So this wasn't the final destination. This is sort of the resting point, middle stop sort of destination?
Yes.
Yes, and a place for us to get more rations and things, and restock.
And look
It'd be
at
nice to sleep in
cranes.
a bed.
Yes, I would agree.
Then let us head to the hall first. At least get the eye of someone so they know that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us aren't just wandering into their place without them knowing. And then we can potentially go to the tavern, sit down for a bit.
Sure.
Very good. Sounds like a plan to me.
Okay. The best plan.
All right, so you're moving in towards the town hall sort of area.
Yeah, the place
Is
with
that
all
right?
the Dundalian flags and stuff.
All right.
Banners.
Okay. All right, so you make your way to the road, and then you take the outer sort of central road that wraps around and connects to the main road leading north and south. You pass the tavern on the right, then you pass the inn, and you can see a sign outside that is called the Lode, Lode. And this inn again has 2 thatched peaks, fairly sizable, but not as big as one that would potentially be in a city or in town. It's of a kind of a small bit of a smaller size. As you cross the left, again, you see on the left of you the collection of hovels, and then ahead up on what appears to be a bluff is a number of cottages, and probably 24 cottages or so. And within the cottages, you also see a 4-story stone building, actually, that protrudes out in amongst these cottages. Tower, sorry, not building, tower. As you kind of make your way through the market, you do see that there are a number of tradesfolk who appear to be selling fruits and vegetables and those sorts of things. But in this area, it appears like it's not locals that are selling in this space. It almost appears kind of like folks from other areas have brought their wares. You can see that there are carts and horses and things like that, and they're selling them here within the market to maybe the people who are settled in this space. Past the market square, there is a large bell in the center of the square, as well as a well. And there is a little kind of stage just to the right of the market against the palisade, which you imagine, people address people, or there are performances, and this is kind of like the central kind of meeting place for entertainment and for discussion and so forth within the settlement. Then just past that, like I said, is this town hall. It seems like a fairly formidable building for this space. Definitely the largest within the area. Well built, and it proudly, as I mentioned before, displays the banners of the Dwendalian Empire. As you kind of walk up to it, you also see that there is a notice board to the right of the doorway as you kind of make your way up.
I hurriedly walk towards the notice board.
Okay. All right. You watch as Gregory kind of steps off, and you start to kind of look over some of the things. A lot of it is sort of official matters of the town. You notice that there has been a calling for construction of a apothecarium shop. And it appears that the settlers here all kind of work together to build things together. And what you get from the kind of the understanding of the way that things are written is that the mine is the central kind of area within this, but that everyone is kind of expected to kind of pitch in order to build. And so a lot of the buildings and a lot of things around here are the work of the people that exist and live here. It's definitely Empire run, and definitely under the purview of the Empire. But you see that there is a request for the building of a apothecarium, and then it has been kind of like stroked out and written in kind of big, bold red ink. It says built. Oh. And then beside it is a notice requesting the building of a tattoo shop, a tattooist, which appears to be calling people to help with that construction. On there as well, there are a number of different notices regarding different tasks to be done, people posting about their experiences within the settlement. You get the sense that it's called the Herethis Enclave. You get the sense that the mine is the central, like I said, focus of this place. And a lot of what happens in this place revolves around something about the mines. It talks about different creatures that they've experienced and encountered within the mines. It sounds like there's multiple layers of the mine, and there are different people within the settlement that are responsible for taking care of that level of the mine. And that's pretty much it. It doesn't seem to be like necessarily a job board just as yet. It's more of an informational board. There doesn't necessarily, from your first kind of view, doesn't appear to be anything posted like, hey, I need you to do this, or I need you to do that, or, you know, we're looking for, it's more of like a report back.
No.
And it appears like the people who live here and use this board already kind of know what they're supposed to be doing, for the most part.
Yeah.
You do see some information from a town crier. You did hear a town crier in the town square. Sorry, no, you did not. But there is the kind of posts from the town crier, and there are official posts written and signed by a Lord Storm.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
So most of the information on this board is useless. About 95%, I would say, is useless. The only thing important, this place is called Herethis Enclave. There's some guy named Lord Storm who probably has a lot of money we could get a job from. Or we could probably go into the mines and, I don't know, do stuff in there for the people that are here. But I don't see anything else here about making any money. So don't waste your time reading it. It's useless.
Yeah. And it's actually quite clear that even everything's kind of close proximity to that mine, but you constantly hear like as ropes are being lifted, and you hear pickaxes kind of hitting on rock, and so it's quite loud. And maybe you know, living here, you'd probably get potentially used to it, but it's clear that there is hard work happening in this area of the mine, just to the right of where you are, just east of where you are.
Is it unimportant because you're not gaining from it, or is it unimportant because you don't care?
Both?
Noted. He makes a mental note to check the board himself.
Okay. All right. Are you going to check it now, or are you going to check it later?
Let's go to the hall. He'll check it in a second. He's not worried about this very second. But he does not think that he felt like to him, Greg went, no money, no money, no money, no money. No money. He's like, that's not useful. All information is useful.
Yeah.
Anywho,
Good stuff.
he's gonna go to the hall and see if there's a door or something, or yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you step up to this kind of double door that goes up a short, small kind of set of stairs. And as you kind of open the door, it creaks open, and you step into a large open hall with a balconied second floor looking down into the main area. You see that there are offices along the rear of the building. Some of them have open doors, and you see some people kind of talking in and amongst themselves, looking over maps, things like that. But it is clearly a government sort of town hall building. There is a reception desk to the back kind of sort of right of this main foyer area. And there is an attendant behind it sitting, and you can see that she seems to be signing some documents or looking at them and organizing them and then putting them into a file sort of box as she looks up at you and you enter.
Seeing this individual, I'll just kind of put on a very charming smile. Oh, hello. We are new into this enclave of sorts. We were looking to see if we needed to check in anywhere, if there was any protocol for newcomers to this place. We also were potentially looking for any type of work that you might need done.
Mostly the work part.
Sorry, we have barbarians, figuratively, in our midst. Either way, we wanted to at least introduce ourselves so you didn't see 5 individuals just randomly walking around with no one knowing who we were.
The woman says, oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And she has kind of short, cropped, dark hair, spectacles kind of at the bottom of her nose with like a chain that goes around her neck.
Of course.
And she's dressed fairly simply, but officially like she's come to work today. And she says, oh, thank you. Many people don't actually do that. I appreciate the courtesy. I can see if maybe we were expecting you. Can I get names, perhaps?
I don't think we were expected, but of course, my name is Cynric.
Zinric. And she kind of
Zinric
pulls out.
Calder.
She pulls out like a scroll, and she kind of opens it up, and it seems to be some sort of ledger. And she looks it up. She says, "You're not on here. I don't see anyone else. Any other names?"
Bolt? Do you see my name?
And she kind of looks down. She says, "No, not Bolt." And you all kind of go through. Who tells her their names? Who does
Hello,
not?
I'm Gregory.
No,
Okay.
I'm not going to.
Okay, you don't say anything at all.
Well, I mean, if everybody else is and I don't, then I'm kind of suspicious. So I will, but I was didn't think that we'd just be telling people our real names if we're potentially wanted. So, hello. Yes, I am Sera. These are my friends.
Good. And she kind of looks at her. She says, no, you're not on the list, but please wait here." And she kind of gets out from behind her desk and she walks up the large stairs to the left and into a room, and you hear a door open. And you hear an exchange, even at this distance, and kind of a joyful sort of voice that responds. And at this time, I would like to invite our mystery guest this evening. That is Hillary Z. She's dark right now. She's not. Hillary Z maybe fell asleep waiting.
Oh no.
She's in there.
I don't, yeah.
She's in there, but Julian.
Production
broke
from
it.
in-room is difficult.
That was a great reveal, except that it was, we are self-producing currently, although we do have a producer joining us soon. So that will be good. But
oh, nice.
And I can't hear Hillary either.
Oh.
Hello?
Oh, I can hear her. Hey, there you are.
Hey.
That was like the most anticlimactic ever.
Well, we saw in the Zoom, but
Yes. So Hillary is one of our Smithgardians and our resident lore master for everything we do. She also writes most of the content for our Discord modules and narrative and all of that wonderful stuff. So she is joining us this evening. And very happy to have her along. Hillary, the attendant steps up and walks into your office and says that there is a group of people here, and kind of nods at you with a knowing nod. And she then leaves, and you see the attendant kind of come back down the stairs, and she says, "Just 1 minute."
Insight.
Okay.
Not great. Doesn't matter. It's fine.
Okay. All right. Hillary, what do you do?
I just kind of nod and kind of take a deep breath and just kind of straighten the papers that I've been taking notes with and tuck them into a book that I then kind of slide into a book holster that's at my and close the door behind me as I exit my office. And as I come down the stairs, you see an individual that has long pointy ears like an elf, and dark purple hair with matching purple eyes, and she's wearing a long blue robe with gilded sleeves, clearly very fine dress, carries herself with an air of confidence. She almost just kind of floats down the stairs, and the book at her side is it looks like it was probably beautifully made at one point, but it has seen quite a bit of wear and tear. And there is a little bit of leather missing from a corner. And you can tell there's a slot where there should be a gem and it's just kind of empty. And it's a very different color than what she's wearing. She's wearing lots of purples, blues, and golds. And this one is very green and brown, a little bit of an aberration, but she just kind of comes down and sees you all standing here and goes, welcome. It's lovely to see you all. Welcome to Herethis. What can I do for you?
Do you have any sort of work that you need done here? To make some coin, we have a very valuable skill set in this group. It's very wide and variable, and we cover a lot of different sort of bases, and we can really do anything you need as long as you pay us.
Before we get into the work of it all, as we told your assistant, I take it, We are travelers, and we wanted to make sure we introduced ourselves before we started rummaging about your encampment.
Excellent. That's most unexpected and appreciated. To be honest, there might be some things. It depends on what you can. Why don't we go back up to my office?
Sure. Lovely.
Sure, lead the way.
Certainly.
Darling, I look at the attendant and
Yep.
I say, could you just some tea and cookies? That would be lovely.
Yes, of course.
Thank you, darling.
No problem.
Go back up to my office, open the door, and it's just there's a large window, and it's there's like lots of plants on the walls and various statues and things, and she gestures to some comfortable looking chairs. There's a couch in the corner. Just please take a seat, make yourselves comfortable at home. I have to admit it's a bit of a surprise to see the Seditious Six here. Welcome.
I'm sorry.
And y'all wanted to tell. Wait, we weren't on the list, and you know.
I just step slowly out of the room, and I'm just sort of like leaning on the outside wall.
The door was closed. She had closed the door, so you open the door and step out of the room.
Oh, so I was gonna say I was just kind of gonna stand in the doorway, just kind of lean on the frame of the door.
Sure.
But upon hearing that, I'll just kind of back out and sort of lean on the wall, like in the hall outside the room, and just pull out a toothpick and just start picking my teeth.
Gregory is quickly becoming the one that leaves the room. He's the livery. It doesn't matter. Anyways, you leave. Okay, got it.
Technically, it's the Seditious 2 that are here.
Oh, my apologies. I must have been misinformed.
What is it? A few of us, you recognize us from our poster?
Indeed. Some of the likenesses are better than others. I didn't mean to put you on edge. I'm very sorry. I don't know what else to call you. I assume you did not choose this name yourselves. But that is the only thing I know of. I heard from a dear friend of mine in the Concord that you may be coming this way. To be honest, I've heard some rather interesting mixed rumors about your conquests with the Concord on the coast.
Does she seem interested in the group in the sense that she's happy we're here, or is she seeming like, oh, great, you all have walked in and now I have you?
Insight check.
Oh no, yeah.
Sorry, just to be clear, I'm just gonna poke my head back. So the Concord knows they're here. Is that what you're saying?
Concord knows they were moving inland.
Super. I'm going to go look for a tavern or something.
Gregory,
not
don't
affiliated.
move anywhere. 1 second.
Don't. If anything, we just need to know every word that comes out of your mouth for the next hour or so.
Me?
And yes, and so you can't move away from us.
Seems a bit unfair, but okay.
18 on that insight.
What does he get with an 18?
What exactly were you?
I'm trying to discern if you're happy to see the Seditious Six, or you're happy that you're actually excited to see them, or if you're like, oh great, they just walked right in, and now I'm feeling confident that they'll be turned in, like that vibe. Like I'm trying to see.
Yeah. Are there dollar signs in the eyeballs, or is this like heart eyes, basically?
You get a sense of intrigue, maybe a little bit of caution. Some genuine curiosity of what is the truth behind who you guys are, and also a sense of maybe they can help.
Okay. As I just stare for a long time, even I'm sure this individual can tell that I am like getting their entire vibe in some way, shape, or form. Two things happen. One, out loud, I say, for you to utter that name so freely, even in a place like this, tells me that there's something more about you that you haven't told us yet. Same time, Sera, you getting your head, she doesn't seem like an enemy, but she might be wanting something from you.
I just was concerned that this is a trap.
Doesn't seem like a trap, but I wouldn't be so trusting.
Don't let Gregory out of your sight.
He couldn't move faster than I could. Anywho.
The whole time that you were like making hard eye contact with her, she definitely made the hard eye contact back and was just like, yes, I'm aware that you're watching me and I'm watching you too. But the smile never left her face.
Same.
I very much, I'm sorry. I did not mean to put you on edge. I probably shouldn't have said that, although no one is listening in here.
Well, you're not a friend of the Clovis Concord, are you?
I have friends in the Clovis Concord, but I am not friends with the Clovis Concord, no. Our goals do not always align.
Zin, can you give me a Arcana check? As can Bolt, as can Sera.
Arcana?
Yeah.
21.
12.
18 plus stuff. 22.
Okay. So with a 12, you notice that it's quieter in this room, and even with the door open, you can sense that there's a difference between this room and, like, you don't hear the surrounding area outside of this room. With a 21 and a 22, what was it? You guys absolutely can feel like this room has been magically altered for sound. So that even though the door is opened, that there is nothing that is entering this room or leaving this room from a sound perspective when she says that. And that kind of clicks when you feel that.
So when you say that, I'm sorry, you said that your ideas didn't always align?
Indeed.
Is there any hostility between you?
Maybe just a bit of professional rivalry, but my friendship with them is entirely personal. It's not a business thing. I just happen to have friends from many quarters of the world. I enjoy collecting stories and information from as many people as I can. And I'm quite curious about you all. Like I said, I've heard some strange rumors of what's happened, and I would be remiss not to tell you that there are some that are trying to convince the Empire that you are a threat. I am not convinced, and I want to know more.
And that is where we're going to take a break for the evening. We will be right back.
So...
Welcome to Dwarven Forge. This is everything you need to know about our terrain in 60 seconds. Ready? Let's go. We hand sculpt our pieces for maximum detail and artistry, infusing passion into every millimeter of our work. Everything is available beautifully hand painted so you can start playing right away. Or you can choose unpainted to paint everything yourself. Our pieces are completely modular, so you can use the same sets to create a new adventure every time. Most pieces have embedded anchor magnets that affix to our terrain trays for secure building, and for revealing rooms as your players discover them. We create everything out of Dwarvenite, our top secret PVC formula that's nearly indestructible. We pack our pieces with as many features as possible, such as swappable LEDs to quickly change the look of your scene. We offer magnetic accessories to add flavor or increase the danger. A 1-inch tactical grid is sculpted into our floors, hidden in dungeon flagstones, natural rocks, or sticks and plants. In addition to sculpted pieces, we make terrain trays to use as a vibrant graphic base for your build. We offer a range of environments, including dungeons, caverns, cities, castles, sewers, forests, mountains, streets, burrows, ice, and hellscape. And that's just the beginning. We have a passionate fan base who can tell you all about it. And that's everything you need to know about Dwarven Forge in 60 seconds.
Seeing maps and line of sight with the characters moving is a game changer, literally.
The mind-blowing tech that's built into it, not having to use proprietary things, is great because you can have a 3D printer, you can make your own stuff, you can bring your own things to it, and you can still use it with all the stuff you have at home already, but make it even better.
I've literally tried something with this with just like a TV flat with my computer plugged in, and it was just like such a hassle hiding the map. You just look at this and it's there. It's very awesome.
The games we play are the stories we create.
The fortress doors swing open.
Every story is unique.
And the sound of war drums rises.
Sometimes our stories come to us when we least expect them. We need to be ready no matter where inspiration strikes. And sometimes our stories are told over great distances. No matter where your journey leads you or how your story is told. The games we play are the stories we create. Sirenscape can help make yours epic.
Sirenscape is searchable, fast, and customizable from any device with no need to pre-install any sound. Adding epic atmosphere to your game has never been easier.
Do you miss playing Dungeons & Dragons, or just have a hard time finding a group in your hometown? Maybe you just wish you could play more. On Discord, we created a community of over 100 people who are playing D&D around the clock.
I'm Noggins.
Otzi.
Cece.
Piotr Strong Shield.
Katarina.
Elder SD Baba Negra.
Tayel. Daria.
Kostash Morach.
Elros.
Falfur Softfoot.
Ketis White's fine. That's my reindeer.
Misery Cordelia.
Chardonic Real.
Body.
Bragar Iron Tom.
Dimitri.
Shalara.
Barf Battlebrain.
Anatomic Scry, mate.
Shortly Frudari.
Warren Greenstead.
Melina Lee.
Sesh Morsis.
Malachi Dupraki.
Sera, Scholar Life Forger.
Travas.
Tamazar.
Esmeralda Ambershake.
Elder Waddleby.
Dustin Morsis.
Morgan Reagan.
Aksha Kitty.
Sterling.
By integrating Discord and D&D Beyond, we're able to provide an immersive experience that is the first of its kind. You can create a character from 1st to 15th level, and then roleplay 24/7 in our Discord channels while combating monsters, crafting weapons, training new skills, and searching for items across our campaign world. You'll also have the chance to participate in random combat encounters and go on monthly virtual quests. Ever wanted to try your hand at being a dungeon master? Or maybe you're an experienced dungeon master and just want the chance to run more adventures. As a community DM, you can run encounters and virtual quests for the community based on monthly modules written by our very own accomplished plot team. Join us.
Join us.
Check it out.
Join the Discord.
Join us!
Join us.
And let's create incredible stories together. And we're back. All right.
Okie dokie.
We left off with Hillary.
Yes.
You can go on.
Oh, sorry. Hello. So, yes, I am unsure and not convinced of the stories that I've heard, so I would like to hear things from your point of view.
Before you see him like kind of step forward, not in a. Ooh, there's a feedback. Not in a like I'm the leader of the situation, more of a protector type of vibe. And he steps up, and you do see his hand go to one of his hilts, one of the two scimitars he has on the side, and he says, "Before we give any type of information, before they incriminate themselves to you, who are you?"
I am Lady Tefra. There's no need to threaten me. You can remove your hand from your hilt.
It's not a threat.
All right. I am simply a concerned member of the Empire and a member of this lovely Enclave. You do not have a lot of friends in the Empire at the moment, and we could be your friend. Just depends on how honest you are with me.
Point of clarification. They don't have many friends in the Empire. However, and I look back at the group, I don't speak for them.
Okay. Well, I am a member of the Cerberus Assembly. A mid-ranking member, you might say. Not the best, not the worst. And it's been my honor to serve the Enclave so far, and something tells me that you may be helpful. But I don't want to make a deal with people that I don't know what I'm getting into. And I also don't want to make assumptions based on stories I've heard from others.
But you are aware that there is a large reward for our heads.
Indeed.
Yes. And so what is it exactly that makes you able to pass that up?
Well, I don't need gold. I have no desire for money. I am well provided for. The Assembly takes great care of me. I am simply seeking answers and maybe some help with some strange things that have been found in the mines. You seem...
Strange how?
There are very many strange wonders found in these mines.
But what is it that you mine in the mines?
We started mining platinum. This has been a platinum mine for decades now. After the war, the Empire kind of remembered that this was here and has been creating a community around it. And upon further inspection, we've discovered many strange things. Magic seems to work differently down there in some places. And anyway, we can get more into that later. I would love to just... We don't need to get into the details of what caused the bounty, but I would just like to know what you all do. What are your skill sets?
Well, I'll lift up a mechanical mage hand. I do a little bit of tinkering now and then. Snow, tell her what you can do.
I put my arm out into the open air and summon an echo to fill it, so I've got my arm around his shoulder. I do this.
Oh, that is most unique.
Now there are 6 of us.
Sera says nothing but puts an arm up close to her face, and with her palms up, you see a fire ignite in her hand and then quickly extinguish.
Very impressive.
Zinnius watches for a little bit longer before you see a very clear dual wind kind of wrap around. Dual wind kind of wrap around him and kind of go upward. He says, "I have my talents." And he stays very quiet after that.
Are you still in the room, Gregory?
In the doorway.
There Sir, did you want to come in and take a seat?
No, I'm fine, actually. And there'll be nothing further from me.
Well, this is basically a job interview.
Is this what you came here for?
I am not interested in this particular job, so.
Why not?
Gregory, you get a message in your head. You are aware, and it is a very different. I've been very flippant with Gregory. He's been very annoyed with Gregory. Even if it seems playful, this is a very serious tone.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "You're aware who the Cerberus Assembly is, correct? Being of the Empire."
That is why I have no desire.
And you're aware that if you say no, they might have reason to follow you more than they have reason to follow them.
I'll take my chances.
Noted.
While you guys are having this conversation, you do see that Lady Tefra kind of looks at you and is kind of curious as to why you're looking at each other like that, and then is like,
He didn't even look at him. Just so you know, did not look at him.
All right. I'm sorry. It seems like we have gotten off on the wrong foot. I'm really just trying to welcome you to this wonderful enclave, and it does seem like you have quite a spread of talents. And then she looks over at Bolt specifically. I wonder if maybe your specific skill set might come in handy. I know that you were asking for work. I'm more than happy to offer you gold to assist us. I would never ask for you to do something for us for free. But we have found something most curious and most exciting in some of the ruins. And I wonder if maybe you would be able to shed some light on the situation.
You had me at curious.
I take it that is a trait we probably share. You found strange parts of machinery, and it seems part magical, part mechanical. To be honest, it's probably easier to show you than to tell you. If you'd be willing to venture into the mines with me, you're welcome to explore the Enclave today. We don't need to go today. We could go tomorrow.
Oh, we could go right now.
I think it'd be best if perhaps we maybe find a place to stay first and get some rooms and get settled before we...
We'll just go look at the thing.
Oh, in due time, Bolt. I think we should probably retire to some rooms and rest for a bit first.
And at this point, Sera sends a telepathic message to Zin saying, before we go in, I think it'd probably be best to ask some people about town, about this mine.
Yes, I'm not sure what could be down there, but the fact that an assembly member was so willing to reveal their allegiance says a lot more than I believe they might realize.
Well, what my concern is that whatever is in this mine is dangerous, and they'd rather send expendable strangers than their own people.
That is exactly the thought that I had.
All right. Sera just smiles back.
Jay?
Yeah.
Per something that I know, do I get the vibe that this person might be something I might have information about?
Insight.
Ooh. 22.
Okay, I'm sending you a message.
Okay.
Which means nothing.
I do turn around and say, I do believe we probably should at least settle in first. Get some food, get a place to rest. It seems that we might be here for a little bit of time, so before we go off into the races, I would love to settle down.
Well, we do have a lovely inn. It's called The Load. You can always take a load off, so to speak. Anyway.
Oh, I get it.
They have puns here.
it's
Lots
good.
of puns. They're quite punny. You are free to stay in the inn this evening, and in hopes that you will possibly assist us tomorrow, we will, of course, provide you rooms for free. And the Silver Lining has quite a selection of some delightful goodies. If you've been subsisting off of road rations for some time, it might be a nice, refreshing change.
Not that anything you've come up with, Yanil, wouldn't be as good, but yes, please. If there's anything else.
And you can tell.
Speaking of which, you said that there were going to be tea and cookies.
Yes.
And at this point, the assistant actually kind of comes through with a tray, and there's some like tea and some cookies, and she puts it down in front of you all.
Yes.
I'm just going to take, and as Sera like tries to daintily take one, she just like grabs a handful.
And they're the kind that are like covered in powdered sugar.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know that yet.
And I daintily pick it up with a mage hand. But eat it really quickly.
So please feel free, make yourselves at home within the Enclave. We are always happy to welcome visitors. We do like to pride ourselves on being a bit of a haven for any who have found trouble finding home elsewhere in the Empire. We are most welcoming here. And if you wouldn't mind, I would be most interested to join you at dinner at the Silver Lining Tavern, if you don't mind.
Let us go to the inn first and get our rooms before we settle into the tavern, if you don't mind.
No, not at all, of course.
And at the same time, a little a gust of wind that has like a streak of like teal green in it kind of comes around, swoops up one of the cookies, and brings it back to me. And at the same time, Lady Tefra, you get a voice in your head that says, I would like to speak to you in private.
She doesn't even respond, and she just kind of nods imperceptibly. Well, it was lovely to meet you all. I do hope that you enjoy your time in Herethis. Please feel free to come and see me. If I'm not here, they'll know where to find me.
You see, Gregory? Haven, free rooms, cookies and tea.
Platinum mine.
I know you were interested in gold, but platinum is also very good.
I find platinum to be much better than gold.
I should be a bit more careful in the Empire around these sorts. And I just leave.
And I'm sort of chasing you a little bit with the cookie in the mage hand. Like, what you didn't get? All right.
Just go down the stairs and I leave.
Okay. All right. And you can all tell that Yanil is fairly uncomfortable in civilization. Like, she's taking it all in. She's seeing things and the evolution of technology and all these sorts of things that she has never seen. And so she's quite kind of inside her shell, as it were.
As you guys are walking away, Zen, in your head, you hear, is now a good time?
So many things happening all at once. Sera, in her mind, gets a go with them to the end. I'm just going to ask a couple of questions since I am Empire, and I want to make sure that we will not be in trouble. And with Gregory's outburst and Bolt's amusement, I just want to make sure she knows that we are not going to be enemies.
Very well.
I
I'll
will
see
let
you
you
back
know.
at the inn. And as Sera exits.
And you get a you get a short yes back to you, Lady Tefra.
Okay. All right. Okay. At this point, then, I would like the three of you to leave, please. Out of earshot, preferably. And yeah, Sera, if you
as
can,
as well as my...
yeah. And then I will call you back soon. You guys can go up into the green room. Yanil also obviously leaves with you to go towards the end. Yeah.
Is that the Fantasia song?
Yeah. I guess Victoria's kind of waddling.
Picture picture of like dancing broomsticks, and I was like,
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna close the door properly because it didn't close. You guys can go ahead. Okay, thanks.
Has been kind of sitting at her desk and has pulled a little stack of papers over and is just nonchalantly kind of taking some notes, and actually watched as like she just kind of did like a little flourish in the air, and this like multicolored plume of feather with a little pen tip at the end appeared, and she's just kind of scribbling.
And I'm going to make sure the door closes.
Yep.
And I'm just going to stay facing the door for just a moment, and you almost see my shoulders like slump. Not slump as in like he's getting like relaxed, but like almost like settling into a space that he hasn't been. And then he turns around and there's a very serious face upon him. Not really the charming person that has been seen. Very stoic.
Do you prefer vocal or mental?
If you believe this place is as warded as you say it is.
It is. I have personally ensured that it is.
So, you are the one I should have, or would be, contacting you.
Assume so. Love to know what updates you have for me.
Do I get the vibe that she is a much higher rank than I am in some way, shape, or form?
Yeah. So she would be like a field office contact sort of scenario.
Gotcha. Making sure. They are traveling north to Comorda. They have some form of connection to the turtle. They want to see something done with her. I still don't actually know exactly what it is. The other turtle left. He is no longer of use. Though I was still curious to know more about his capabilities.
Shame. There's much to be learned from chronoturgy.
The tabaxi. I am still unsure how he has that power, but he seems too trusting.
Was that more dunamancy?
It seemed to be that way, though not of the arcane nature.
Curious how this crew has so much unknown magic within their ranks. And you do not know their purpose for Comorda.
I believe they want to make sure, you see him like going through his memory bank. I believe they want to make sure that she, the turtle, gets there. She has a purpose. And I said I would accompany them.
We would be most interested to know what their purpose is in Comorda.
The warlock. She has power.
That what she is.
I don't know much. She seemed to gain a gift the other day. This person seems to have a connection to them. She trusts them.
Person?
Entity.
Do you know what sort of entity this is?
She said that it manifested within the fire, or came to her in the form of a flame.
Intriguing. Anything that you can gather on that would also be of great interest to us.
I have sent word on the fourth night back to Master Ikathon.
Excellent. Thank you for keeping us in the loop.
I was told that I needed to come here by him. What is the purpose?
I have something for you. Something that has been retrieved from deep within the mines. It's the most fascinating discovery. But we need more information. And she just kind of reaches over to one of the low drawers in her desk, and you hear the drawer open, and then you hear a little bit of shuffling around, and she takes something out and sits back up, but you can't see it yet. It's behind the desk, closes the drawer, and she lifts up a box a little bit smaller than a shoebox that's very finely crafted, and you can tell that it has a likely magical lock on it. This is the item. I, to be honest, don't know what you're supposed to do with it. I just know that I'm supposed to give it to you. You may open it at your own discretion. Maybe not right now.
I will reach out. I will take the item and I'll kind of look at the box, just kind of study it for a second.
It's like a little, probably like 2.5 by 2.5 inch box, almost like a jewelry box, like a ring box, and it's got a hinge on the back. It's got a clasp in the front, and it is made of what appears to be like a lead, like a steel or lead. And it's fairly heavy.
Okay. After looking at it a second longer, I will place it into my bag. Kind of get that tight. Thank you. I will open it perhaps later on. I will say, this group, they are smart. They are smarter than I thought, though they make very childish mistakes. I am getting close to them, though. I would hope that your presence, so outwardly, doesn't cause mistrust.
Why would I hide what I am? I have no nefarious purposes. I think most people know that the Cerberus Assembly has a presence in most of the enclaves and towns around here.
If my duties are to be filled, are to be done correctly, I just want to make sure they still trust me.
Of course.
So understand that I will not be as open with you, perhaps even more antagonistic.
I would hope so. We do not want to reveal your true nature.
Nothing's been revealed yet. I don't see it happening anytime soon.
I wouldn't expect so of one of your talents. I must admit, I have heard some of the stories, and I am most impressed.
I do my job very well, and it's what I've been trained to do.
And you think they trust you?
It's not a thing. I'm gaining the trust much quicker than I expected. The Tabaxi and the Warlock, the ones who are the prime subjects, prime targets, they trust me better than the others. The Dragonborn is quite cute. He is interesting. Say that again?
He may be of great use to us.
The one I do not care for is the one with the firearm. He is expendable.
His reaction does concern me. He seems to have a massive amount of distrust for our esteemed assembly. And that concerns me.
I do not know where his allegiance lies. When I first met him, he seemed to want something, but it wasn't clear exactly what. Cannot tell if he wants fame, power, or something else.
Indeed. Well, keep an eye on that one. I'm sure you already know.
Is there anything else I can do? I should get going. I do not want them believing that I am now making friends.
Of course not. We would never want that. That is all that I need. Thank you very much. And in your head you hear, I will contact you if I need anything else.
Thank you. I will kind of pat my bag again once more, do a nod, take another cookie, and then walk out the room and head back towards the inn.
Come on back. Now you can, yeah. All the secrets. Secrets! I love secrets. I love secrets. Is Bruno back down here?
He's upstairs.
Okay. Well, come on back.
Secrets are no fun. Secrets hurt someone. Secret tunnel. That's from The Office. Through the mountain.
Okay. All right. Zin, you were done your conversation. You leave the office, and Hillary, you just have to sit in the session and enjoy the role play until we need you again. I'm happy to have you on. All right. Let's start off with Gregory. You left the office and you mentioned that you want to kind of walk around the Enclave and get some information.
Yep.
Okay. What information are you looking for specifically?
Specifically, I'm going to go see if I can find one of those monster folk that you were talking about. Saying that we saw some monster folk lumbering about.
Yeah.
Find one of them.
Okay. Give me an investigation check.
This one. Not great. 4.
Okay. So with the 4, you start to walk around. There's a lot of people kind of milling about. You're not seeing as many of those sorts as... And you saw a mix of them. A couple of them were orcs or other sorts of races that, again, wouldn't necessarily be this deep into the Empire.
Yep.
But you don't seem to find anybody around, unfortunately, that of that ilk.
Okay. I'll just grab anybody that I can find on the street then.
Okay. All right. And, you know, as you're kind of walking by, you see... you see a long hair of black... sorry. Sorry.
We forgive
you. Thank you. You see a somewhat tall. Actually, give me a nature check if you don't mind, real quick, before you.
You didn't work nicely. Try you instead. Rolling like donkeys today. 5.
Okay. With a 5, you see a number of people pass by. You see a brass dragonborn, kind of wearing fine robes and carrying a staff. And these are just the people kind of passing through. You also see what appears to be someone with kind of reddish skin, with hair that appears almost like the shape of fire. He wears a dark hooded cloak, hiding his features. His skin seems ashen and gray, with an orange beard and hair that seems to burn like flame. You also see a blue crystal dragonboard, or a dragonboard that appears to be made of blue crystal. Clad in full plate as it kind of lumbers by, and you're kind of taken aback a little bit, carrying a shield in one hand, a long sword sheath on the other hip. You also see a pale green-skinned creature with ebony streaked hair and horns, which are brown, purple, kind of ram horns that kind of come around. And so this is the mix of people that you kind of see coming through. And the first person that you kind of make eye contact with, the rest of them are kind of passing by and you're not able to kind of connect with. And the first person that you kind of are able to connect with kind of comes up to you, and it's a farmer with kind of like a wide-brimmed straw hat, and they're carrying kind of a sack over their shoulder. They kind of stop in front of you, and it's the first person that you're able to kind of like make eye contact with and connect with.
Yeah. Hi.
Oh. Hi.
New here. Not sure if kind of came in maybe half hour ago. This is a pretty unique place here. Yeah, there's a lot of a lot of different races. Not used to seeing this many. Usually it's a lot more. There's a lot of monster races here. Not used to seeing so many sort of things from the other side of the war, if that makes sense.
Yes, it's quite it's different here.
Yes.
But it's been good for me and for my family, and I only come in here on a very random, seldom basis to sell my produce, and it's been great. Welcome.
So you don't live here?
No,
You're
I
a
don't.
trader.
No, I'm a farmer, a simple farmer, and I feed my family by selling the produce to the settlement.
Interesting. And everybody gets along here with the two sides of this war kind of meeting. The races from the other side of the mountains.
It appears so. I mean, there's lots of activity. I've heard of a lot of dangerous things that occur and live in the mines that sometimes surface. Large insect-like creatures that are to believe to be living in the mines and sometimes attack the farms on the outskirts. But here, I mean, I've heard stories of fantastic creatures, even a creature with multiple, that hovers with multiple eyes, that was destroyed here the other day. People were talking about it, and there's all sorts of formidable warriors and wizards, and it's quite amazing.
Cool. That's I mean, it's nice to see for sure. I'm just not used to sort of this menagerie of creatures, at least not here. And the government officials that are sort of running this place, they're kind, fair?
Yes. I've never met any of them. You know, the watch, I mean, they're Crown's Guard, so I mean, they do what they need to do and keep everybody, I guess, in check. I don't think there's much of an issue. It seems fairly safe. The forest can be dangerous, but the guards keep that at bay. And I mean, I don't know if you would find a contingent of settlers as well equipped to defend an area. So frankly, as far as I'm concerned, this is the safest place to be in the Empire.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Just one last question before I let you go on your way. Is there any particular area where these, the orcs and things like that live here, do they kind of hang out in one particular area?
Everyone lives in different areas. I mean, as you can see, my understanding is the Enclave is broken into wards, which is typical to the Empire, and I can't remember what they all are. I think the one up there is called the Summit Ward, and he kind of points to where the manors exist. And then I think there's one called the Bramble. But yes, I mean, it appears that I don't know exactly where everyone lives.
That's fair. I've already taken up too much of your time, so thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Have a lovely day.
You too. And he kind of turns around and leaves. Okay. For the rest of you, you head over to the Load Inn. And as you approach, dark beams interspersed amongst the red brick work from the outer walls of the Load. Atop these sits a its well-known twin-peaked thatched roof, framing the welcoming entranceway. Fresh flowers sit in planters hanging from all shuttered windows. And as the door, it's kind of double-doored, but one of them is open slightly, and you can smell the waft of warm bread and what smells like coffee wafting out from the inn, beckoning its guests. What do you do?
I'm going to get some bread. I don't know
Smells
about
so
you.
good.
I'm just going to quickly walk right through the door.
Okay. As you enter the door, you come into a reception area. There's a long counter that exists, and it doesn't appear to be anybody in the reception, but you do hear what sounds like kind of a rustling behind the counter. So you know that there's something back there, but currently not in visible view.
Is there like a little bell or something?
Yeah, so you kind of step up the counter, you ring the bell, and out from behind pops a halfling male, and you hear as kind of like a something is kind of rolled on wheels, and he like steps up a little kind of step ladder up to the top, and so that he's kind of like looking at you, almost like he's standing on the counter, but looking you kind of in the face. He says, "Oh, hi, welcome. I'm Sinjin. I guess it's time to take a load off, as we say here. May I help you?"
Hello, Sinjin. Pleasure. We were wondering if there were any rooms available and what you charge.
Yes, of course. Many rooms available. Are you from this area? Are you just passing through? So many people come through here on a weekly basis. It's hard to keep track.
Oh, just passing through. Although this is our first time. What do you recommend doing here?
Oh, there's so much. I mean, the Silver Lining has wonderful trosts, which you're probably familiar with, the ale of the area, and many delectable wonders to be had at the Silver Lining. Of course, we have lots of shops. There is a new apothecarium that was just built. There's a beautiful stream just west of here. I wouldn't recommend going too far out of the Enclave. We don't know what exists out there, but there's lots to be had. How long will you be staying?
We're not sure yet.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll start at one night. Is that of your liking? And at this point, you kind of take in the rest of it. There is a hallway, a doorway kind of to the left and to the right, and there's a doorway, a door, like a closed door to the left and the right, and then there's a doorway kind of to the left past the counter. And to the right is a desk or table with fresh loaf of bread that has been sliced, and a kind of porcelain pitcher that is steaming with some mugs kind of beside it. And he says, "Please help yourself to some fresh bread and some Artesian mud."
It would be rude not to use bread. Thank you.
I'm not sure how many nights we'll be staying, but we are waiting for a friend to return.
All right. Well, when you know, let me know, and I will absolutely help you.
Oh.
How many are there of you? You said there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 of you with your friend?
There's one more coming.
5?
Yes.
Okay. And will you want separate rooms? One room? Do you want just general accommodations? We have a thatched bed in the community sleep room in the back, and she kind of points down that hallway that leads kind of from the reception area. I have 2 bedrooms. I have ones with 4 beds in them. I have single rooms. I mean, whatever you like.
What are your rates?
Oh, well, anywhere from the community sleep area is 7 copper per person, all the way to a single room with a private bed and a private bathing chamber for 2 gold. But those are limited. We only have 2 of those.
Well, did not the lady we spoke to say it would be a free stay?
Oh, a free stay? Who told you it was free stay? I mean, Xenia and I need to feed our family, and this is a business, and.
Well, she didn't mean that you wouldn't get any compensation, but perhaps that it would be comped on behalf of.
Who said this?
Are you trying to pay him under the table? What's happening?
No, didn't lady I can't read.
Tefra.
Tefra. Sorry.
Oh.
Didn't Lady Tefra mention?
Oh, she did.
What was that?
Yes, of course. Yes, whatever you like. If she said that they are on the house, then I guess they're on the house. The Keen Bellies are always ready to help wherever we can.
Makes it seem like this is something that you don't want.
Oh, no, it's fine. Mm-hmm.
How much for the shared room? The 4, like not the community, but like
4 beds?
4.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah. The one room with 4 beds is 1 silver per person.
I'm willing to pay that
per night. But it's free. Of course, that's what I meant. It's free. Free.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. At this point, Zin, you walk through the door.
All right. Yep. Gonna saunter over. What have I missed?
Well, it seems like perhaps the free stay isn't something to.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's free.
Insight check. Can we do that?
Absolutely.
With what he's
Anybody
seems
would
a
like
little
to?
nervous.
Yeah.
I love that.
His tone all of a sudden changes.
It's free. It's fine.
I did not roll well. 12.
Okay, 2 12s and a 13. You get the sense that obviously he's uncomfortable by the whole concept in some way, shape, or form, but you're not exactly sure why. Obviously, like he's being awkward and weird about
Are
it,
we
but-
getting our rooms?
Yes.
Absolutely. In fact, I will go make sure it's ready for you, and you can settle in right away.
What do you have available? Sorry, I missed the entire conversation.
Yep, a lot. We have multiple rooms. We have a community sleep area, which is quite affordable, but not the best, especially of travelers of your ilk. And then we have single rooms with, your friend here, and he points over to Sera, says maybe you'll take the 4-bedroom. Although there's 5 of you. 1.
How
two,
many?
3,
I just
4.
kind of like look over at Gregory.
Well, Gregor's not there, actually. So Gregor's not with you. Yeah,
there we
so it's
go.
only Bolt, Snow, Sera, and Zin who are in the room right now.
And you know?
And you know, sorry. Keep
How
forgetting
many?
my own
Oh, you know.
people.
Oh, so there's 6 of us actually.
There's 6. Yeah.
How many double rooms did you have?
Double rooms. I have 4 double rooms.
Perhaps we can get 3 doubles instead of 4. 4 with a double. If they're free, and it seems like they are more than willing to accommodate.
Mm-hmm.
We have not that much money at this moment. We were looking to work. We might as well splurge when we can, have the opportunity. But I don't want to speak for you. I'm saying we have all been sleeping together in a tent in a magical confine for the past 6 days.
Ooh.
I figured you'd want to be able to spread out a little bit.
That sounds terrible.
If you haven't.
What? Did you say tantalizing? The puns in this place are unreal.
Truly magical.
Well, if it makes you feel better, just to ease your discomfort.
Sure.
We'll be having a lot here, and we'll be making things better however we can help. It seems like they have some work for us to do. We'll make
that's
things
great.
better.
Yes.
I don't know if not just one of us here taking, we're also giving.
Yes, well, that's great. I'm sure I can feed my family on that. Very well. So how many rooms?
I guess 3 of the doubles.
3 of the doubles. Fair enough. I will prepare that. You can head over to the Silver Lining. Xenia, my wonderful wife, she takes care of the tavern there, and she'll be happy to serve you whatever you like.
We are most thankful.
Did she say did her
I am positive it's going to be on the tab.
Oh, the food too?
Most likely.
Great.
It was our understanding.
Very well.
The alcohols.
What's that?
What about the alcohols?
I don't know what agreement you've made with Lady Tefra.
Don't let me have as much as I did last time.
You should not have that much for sure. I believe it seems that our stay has been taken care of, and it would be most useful to us, especially since we were going to be helping in the mines. It would seem that any and all expenses, specifically for room, board, and anything we imbibe, alcohols included, would be covered.
Ah, okay. Great. Mm-hmm.
Great.
Perfect.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Great.
Yes. I will go prepare your rooms for you.
Thank you so
Be right
much.
back.
What's your name again?
My name is Sinjin.
Sinjin.
Yes. Sinjin Keenbelly. At your service.
Keenbelly.
Keenbelly.
Pleasure.
Yes. Very keen. All right. And he kind of like goes off, and in the back of his chair, he goes, "Oh, free, yeah, sure, it'd be great. It'd be awesome. Come to the Enclave, they said. It'd be great." And then you can hear him kind of like saying as he kind of like up the stairs. Okay.
What a strange fellow.
Did anyone
I don't
else
understand
get
if an official of the Enclave says something is free. Why would you not? I don't know this place. I was just relaying what we were told.
Imagine that the government of this place would reimburse what it is that we are using. Yes.
It seems that is my understanding. These people work here and they have to make a living.
Of course they do.
Well, to the dining room, shall we?
to the tavern.
The Silver Lining, was it called? Or was it the...
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, the Silver Lining. All right.
Thank you. You know?
As we begin to walk, Sera, you get a voice in your head, and it just says, I've spoken with her. I just wanted to make sure that your and their tracks weren't being followed. Just having a rapport with the Empire. I just wanted to make sure that everything was good, and it seems that they are not actually looking for you, just potentially wanting to keep an eye.
All right. Do I get a sense that any of that is just like any of that seem iffy?
Insight check.
Can I contest it?
You can contest it. Roll whatever you want, whether it be whatever, and then
I rolled a 17.
Okay, so you can roll in secret, Zin, and then let her know what she knows from that.
Here, I'll roll it in. I'll roll in D&D Beyond. We like openness here.
Okay, I could do that too.
No, it's fine.
That's fine.
I just wanted to just make sure. Crap. 1 second. Sorry. My thing is being a butt. It's being a butt. Clap, clap. It's being a butt. Okay, there we go. Go back to Zinric. There we go. Dice rolling. When you have beyond 20 at the same time, it likes to be a butt. So, deception. Oh, that is laggy. Jesus. That was, once it settles, a 22.
Woo.
Okay, so what does she know with the what information she gathered from that?
It seemed pretty up and up. He was just checking in and everything.
All checks.
Yep.
Okay.
Great. Well, thank you for taking the time to make sure we're all safe here.
I'm traveling with you, and if you're not safe, I'm not safe, so.
There.
And
Shall we?
wasn't lying. I will protect you all.
We protect each other.
Touche.
Okay. You all head out. Go ahead.
Food!
Yeah, you all head out of the load, and you just cross out in front, take the road that heads east and kind of dips around, and the Silver Lining is literally next door just to the east of the load inn. As mentioned before, it's a similar, everything in this settlement is built similarly. Same timbers, it appears, same thatch. And again, above the doorway to the Silver Lining is a sign with a cloud with silver rain falling from it. As you enter the tavern, you see a quaint little tavern. The smell of fine ale lingers in the air. Standing by the stairs up to the entrance is a large stone humanoid structure. Those of you that would know what a golem is, it kind of watches, and as you kind of walk, it kind of watches you kind of head up the stairs and into the tavern. As you enter, it's fairly busy. You see a number of individuals in here kind of milling about and carrying on. As mentioned before, all shapes and sizes. In one corner, you see a tall, lithe human creature, pale skin covered with black, what appears to be kind of dust that clings to her skin, and these purple eyes that kind of watch as you walk in. You see another 3 foot tall humanoid, fairly scarred, tattooed, and again watching you as you come in. And there's at least a dozen or so already in the tavern as you come in, so it's quite loud and cheery. It seems quite boisterous. There is a minstrel sitting on a little stage that exists in one of the corners. And as you walk in, everyone kind of takes note of you as you walk in, being newcomers. And in the back of the tavern, you hear or you see a halfling kind of standing on the bar, who kind of like steps back and forth, serving drinks to a number of people who are sitting actually at the bar. And there are a number of barmaids kind of walking around serving those that exist. And it's a pretty happening place.
Is Tefra already here?
You do not see Tefra yet.
All right.
Should we find a table?
Certainly. I think that would be a good idea.
Try to wave down one of the barmaids.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, and as you kind of walk in, one kind of passes with like a tray full of things and says, yes, just find a place wherever there's a space, and I'll be right with you.
Okay. Is it an open table?
Yeah, so you find a table that, it's kind of a 6-person table. There are 3 sort of in an alcove that kind of are back and forth. They're almost like booths, and you find one that is available. The other 2 are occupied, kind of in the back corner.
There, right there. And I'll send a mage hand over and just be like pointing straight down.
Very good. And people take notice of like this mage hand, and a couple people chuckle in the background, kind of understanding what's going on. And you all go and you sit. What are you doing during this time?
I'm gonna continue wandering around trying to find someone that looks a little bit more distinguished in terms of race, either a dragonborn, tiefling.
Yeah.
I can one of the monster races.
Yeah. Okay.
What does that even mean? We're not about to make like monster races can't be distinguished.
No, he said more distinguished.
I know.
Oh.
More, they stand out more in this particular area of.
We gonna X that real quick. We'll X that one real quick. Sorry, continue.
Yeah. Investigation check.
You should get new D20s.
Yeah, I should use the ones I use on my DM. That's like a 4.
Okay. With a 4, you don't gain much more information than that. You don't, again, necessarily find some of the monster races that you're typically looking for, or those that don't necessarily frequent the Empire. You do hear a couple extra rumors, or additional rumors. You do hear that the forests are dangerous. And you hear of creatures that the locals call Enclaves that tend to kind of bother people. Sometimes they crawl out of the mine, and there's known to be a pretty great concentration of them in the mine. You heard that there was a wedding that existed that happened recently between Tegan and Seville, actually. But that's it. So just like, lore and rumors that kind of exist around the area.
Okay.
And not much more than that. Okay. Back at the tavern, and so you've now spent, say, another, I don't know, how long do you want to be doing this? Do you want to continue to?
I definitely wanted to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm going to spend most of the evening trying to just get a lay of the land and an understanding of how people are interacting here and what the general feeling is.
Yeah.
I'm specifically trying to find out anything I can about how people are feeling about the Cerberus Assembly being here.
Okay.
And having a specific member here.
Okay, so you can give me another investigation check, and then we'll get back to you on that specific information. Okay, back at the tavern. As you kind of all sit, the minstrel takes another break. What'd you roll? What'd you roll? Natural 1?
Womp womp.
Forge gave me natural one.
The struggle. Get new dice.
Yeah.
Going through all my d20s
Yeah,
at
he
this
used,
point.
he used one. Yeah. You need to use the same one because the odds are better if you. Anyways. Yeah. So we'll get back to that.
Yep.
Okay. As you all kind of sit, the minstrel steps up and starts to sing a familiar song, actually, that you've heard in some taverns. She starts to sing, Wildemount, every now again. And like, kind of the music sort of like permeates the area as you all sit. And the barmaid comes over finally and she says, all right, and a little bit of sweat on her brow, obviously incredibly busy. She says, and human, how may I help you? What can I get you? Please.
I'll only do one alcohol this time.
Okay, all right. One alcohol. We have lots of alcohols. While you decide which one you'd like, I can let you know. You want meat. Is there any specific meat that you'd like? I'm very busy, so a bit more specific would be incredibly helpful.
Whatever your specialty is.
Whatever our specialty is.
Or whatever you are most known for.
She would
alcohol.
probably like a trost.
Yes, a trost. Well, we have sweet dark ale. You want it in the mug or by the gallon?
Mug. Mug. You sell it by the gallon?
Yes, well, I mean, there's 6 of you.
Oh, I thought you meant just for me.
Yes,
and I
no.
was like, no, because I don't know. You don't know what happened to me last time. I'll just stick with the one, unless somebody else, I don't.
Okay, so a
I don't
trost. It's a sweet dark ale. It's quite tasty. One then. How many trosts across the table?
I'll get one of those.
Okay, 2,
Sure.
3. Anyone else? Nil kind of shakes her head no.
I'll take a glass of wine, please.
Wine. All right. Very nice. Okay, fine. Very good. 3 trosts, 1 wine. Anything else?
Somebody say meat?
Meat?
Yes, meat. Okay, meat.
I'll take also one of whatever that is, whichever one they're ordering.
Do you have any sauerbraten?
What, sorry?
Do you have any sauerbraten?
Yes, we do, actually. We have sauerbraten, we have spunkferkel, we have some dumplings, we have chunks of meat. If you're looking for meat, the chunks are probably the best way to go. And then we have some dampfnudel.
I like my meat in chunk form. Yes, I'll take one of those.
Okay.
Like my meat in chunk form.
Probably should write this down. There's a lot here. If my quill would work, perhaps the next one. Oh, that one doesn't work either. Perhaps the next one. Yes. All right. Okay, so we have...
It's a busy place.
Yes, 3
Go to
trosts. And you want a glass of wine, a pitcher. It could be a house
glass
wine,
would be
or we do have bottles from Komoda, which are quite good. If you'd like a bottle.
We're heading to Komoda. I can get some of that there. A simple glass would be nice.
Okay, fine. So 3 trosts, 1 glass of our house wine. How many chunks of meat would you like? It's a salted
that's an
pork.
option?
Yes, cooked over the fire. It's quite good. Yes, like 1 chunk is usually for 1 person. We say chunk because it depends on what cut is available in the day. It's hard here in the Enclave to get what we need. There's lots of explaining I'm doing right now, which is unnecessary. So how many chunks would you like?
If 1 is good for I'll take 2. I'll take 2.
2 chunks. Anyone else for chunks?
2 chunks.
2 chunks. 4 chunks. Any more chunks of meat?
How many dumplings come in an order?
Okay. 4 chunks. This one doesn't work either.
I want to find a restaurant where they actually have chunks of meat on the menu.
Yes, chunks. That is what the player's handbook tells us it is. A chunk of meat. This one also doesn't work very well. There we go. Okay. 4 chunks of meat, 1 glass of house wine, 3 trosts, dumplings. Is that what you want?
Well, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
How many come with?
4.
4?
Yes.
Can I get 2 orders then?
Yes.
8 dumplings?
2 dumplings. Anything else?
And sauerbraten for me, thank you.
Sauerbraten for you.
Maybe just a salad for the table?
We don't have salad.
Do you have any apps?
Okay. We have. All right. We have Dampfnoodle. Are you familiar with Dampfnoodle?
Don't forget about desserts.
Dampfnoodle is a steamed roll served in sweet custard or with savory potatoes. That is more of a dessert type thing. Dumplings, of course, steamed potato bread filled with potatoes and some meat. Sauerbraten is a dish of pickled horse meat served with cabbage. And Spanferkel is suckling pig roasted, actually, which is actually quite good, but on the expensive side. But it looks like you folks might be able to afford it. So, yes, Sauerbraten. That is just one Sauerbraten, is that right?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Anyone else?
We might have another coming.
Oh, okay.
Potentially another one or two, but they will order when they get here.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. I will take care of that. I will be right back. And she turns around. She walks out and into the kitchen. Thank you.
Did Yanil order?
Oh no!
She's like,
I don't know if they let outside food.
I've been eating porridge for 400 years and I like it.
She's like, you eat at tables? This is fantastic. And she's like, she missed the whole thing. She didn't even know necessarily she was supposed to order. She's just like taking in all of it. She seems okay currently. All right. At this point, Tefra, you walk in the door. I would like an insight check from everyone, please. Except for Tefra.
16 plus 18.
17.
16.
Okay. Everybody over a 15 notices a clear hush comes over the crowd when Tefra walks in. And then communication starts up again after the fact. Anybody get over 20? No. Okay. And you don't necessarily know if it's out of reverence or if it's out of any other reason, but there's a definite hush. Like she commands authority when she walks in. But then people kind of go back to their stuff. Tefra, what do you do?
I walk in and you see kind of the end of a deep breath as she walks into this very crowded building. And you see she stops by a couple tables and you hear like, is your sister feeling better? I hope she's doing all right. And she kind of like gently taps the person on the shoulder. And then you see her go up to the Xenia. She goes up to Xenia and just kind of places like a bag of coin by Xenia and then kind of gestures over at the table you guys are sitting at. And basically she's like, hey, I got this, whatever they're getting, I got this. And then turns and sees you all and gets a big smile on her face and comes over. And
and as you all watch, as she smiles at Xenia, Xenia smiles like this, and as she turns, she goes, and like then goes back to her stuff as Tefra turns her off a big smile and starts walking in your direction.
Rude.
Yeah, oh, sorry.
And she'll just come up to the table and just kind of awkwardly, hello, I hope y'all are getting settled in.
Yes. Yes, we found the rooms at the load, getting all sorted out, and now we just place an order for some food. Seems like they have a lot on the menu here.
Just kind of looks awkwardly over at Gregory.
He's not there.
Gregory's there.
Gregor's
Oh,
missing.
you're not there yet. Okay.
No.
Do you mind if I join you?
Oh, please.
Certainly. Take a seat.
By all means.
Yeah, have a seat.
Thank you. I very much appreciate it. And she just kind of takes a seat and kind of rolls up her unnecessarily long gilded sleeves. Hello.
We did not order anything. We did not know what you might have wanted, but just feel free to get whatever you might need.
Thank you. I'm still quite full on tea and cookies.
I ordered 8 dumplings. I don't know how big each one is, but you can have one.
The dumplings are wonderful.
You seem to be well known around here.
Of course. Many here look up to me. Also, I try to keep up to date on the lives of the wonderful people that support our community. So yes, I would like to think that I am well known here. Thank you.
So, not to get right into business, but what exactly do you want us to do in the mines?
There was some sort of contraption that you needed looking at. It was a curious and exciting thing, you said?
Most curious and most exciting. I would probably pieces of machinery. From as far as we can tell, it's just something that's been disassembled. We've seen parts. We haven't been able to necessarily figure out what they might make when you put them together.
It's a puzzle.
I don't mean to interrupt your guys' dinner. I'm very curious about you all, to be very honest.
What sort of curiosity are we talking about? Because what sort of curiosity are we talking about? Because I am a little concerned that you know too much about us already.
To be honest, most of what I know of you is hearsay and rumor, which is why I wanted to hear it from you all.
Right. Well. Hearsay and rumor, it spreads quickly. Faster than death in autumn, as they would say. So, allow me to assuage some of your concerns. Much that has been said about us is greatly exaggerated. We are capable, of course, but we are not murderers. What has happened in self-defense.
At this point, the server drops off all the drinks. And she looks at you, Tefra, and says, may I get you anything?
The usual, just some tea.
Very well. She turns around.
I send a telepathic message to Snow saying, I really was hoping we would get a chance to ask people in the tavern about the mines, but that's, I guess, a little difficult if she is keeping watch over us.
Perhaps you and I, Tefra, could have a word?
Of course. Do you want to go outside?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Snow gets up. Tefra gets up, and you both go outside.
All right.
Okay. We'll start with Tefra and Snow, and then we'll come back. Actually, we'll go back to Julian real quick. What you gather from kind of the presence of the Cerberus Assembly here is that in most major settlements there is Cerberus Assembly assembled. And that they obviously would take great interest in a place like this.
Sure.
Which is kind of like general knowledge. The specific knowledge that you get with your natural one is they love having the Cerberus Assembly here. It's like the best idea and possibly the best thing that could have happened to the settlement. With your natural one.
Okay.
Okay, Tefra, Snow.
All right, so I'm for the most part just trying to buy time for Sera to be able to do what she wants to do.
Yeah.
So, Tefra, what exactly have you heard about us? Because we know the wanted posters, but we don't know the word about the town, so to speak.
Well, the tales of you range from unfortunate folk who were just in the wrong place at the wrong time to a ruthless mercenary force traveling throughout the Menagerie Coast laying waste in their path. So it's been rather hard to tell what is truth and what is rumor. And while I may be friendly with those on the coast, much of what they say, like you said, is greatly exaggerated.
Of course. You see, the strange thing about being hunted is when you're quite capable prey, you leave a number of hunters in your wake. So, yes, we have had to defend ourselves, but you don't have to worry. We are not violent people. We simply are trying to live.
And when she starts speaking again, you notice a change in her voice that sounds like relief and maybe a bit of a confirmation. And she says, indeed, I was hoping that's what I would find. You seem to have quite an interesting mixture of people in your group. Quite a motley crew, so to speak. I'm most interested to hear the story of how you guys got together. And we don't necessarily need to roleplay that, but she's just like wanting to kind of hear the story.
Yes, I will tell you the entire story from beginning to end in great detail. And just one quick thing, though. When it comes to the payment for this task, I would ask for a little extra from you if possible. Please spread good word about us. It would be nice to be able to combat some of the horrible things that people are saying.
Of course. That is what I do for my friends. I make sure that their reputation is as stellar as mine.
Ah, of course. Now, it all began on a sunny day, which had a mild, light breeze. It smelled a little of the... and then...
Okay. That's great. At this point, Tefra, can you give me an insight check?
That's not good. Where's my insight? That's a 7.
Okay, well, so with the 7, you're quite convinced that he's giving you the goods.
Oh, yeah.
With the story. Can you just give me a high-level version of what the story is?
Yeah, in a nutshell. I'm pretty much just starting off with how I met Plunk and Diarkle, and
So you tell her the actual story
of
how you guys met?
To a point.
Yeah.
I understand that she probably has heard some elements of the truth, so I don't want to stray too far from that.
Sure.
But I'll be painting us in the best light possible. That we are completely innocent and just happened across the wrong people at the wrong time. And
Persuasion check.
yeah. Okay. Oh, which... Okay, this one's been okay.
Persuade.
I have low charisma.
I'm not going to look at the die. I'm going to jinx it if I do.
13.
Okay. Yeah, so with a 13 and her 7, you believe him, Tefra, sorry. You get the idea that he's actually telling the truth and that what he's saying is actually what occurred. And you can take that from your knowledge of what's happened on stream to know kind of the whole story of the Seditious Six. Okay, back into the tavern. As soon as Snow and Tefra leave, what is your intention, Sera? And sorry, and the food gets delivered when they leave. Moments after the food starts to get delivered.
Okay, so I'm gonna wait for the food to get delivered. Wait for the barmaid to go back, and Sera's gonna slam down her ale and say, "You know what? I think I'm going to have another one, but I don't want to go bother her right now. I'm going to just go straight to the bar because she's running around. I'll be right back." And we'll head towards, I'm assuming there's a bartender or somebody behind. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the halfling female who was kind of standing on the bar, kind of going back and forth. And as you approach the bar, you stand, she kind of stops and she hands over a mug to, right beside you appears to be kind of a grizzled guard who is part of the watch here, and he kind of has his mug, and you can tell he's a couple in. There's a couple empty mugs in front of him, and she says, "Hi, my name's Zini Keenbelly. Welcome to Silver Lining. May I help you?"
Yes, I'll have one of whatever 3 of he just had, and someone over to my friend here.
Okay. Will do. Okay, great. 2 Trosts. Wonderful. And he kind of looks up at you and says, "Hey, thank you."
Cheers.
All right. And she kind of drops it off, and he kind of picks it up, and he cheerses you and takes a deep gulp.
So I start pretending like doing the whole touristy thing. So I just got here, just checked in for the first time. Man, this is a bustling center, isn't it? This is a pretty happening place. What are you from here? Oh, of course you're from here. You're wearing the guards. saying you're wearing the robes, but yeah, are you you've been living here for a while?
I've been here for some time, yes. Stationed here a little while ago. You're new
Wow,
here. You and your friends. And he kind of looks back at the rest of the table and back at you. As Bull's stuffing his face in dumplings.
Yeah, we're just passing through, you know. Just it's nice to have a good place and to sleep, and a nice meal. But I mean, man, this town just seems like a great place to raise kids. You know, real safe.
No.
Real great. No. What's
No.
Why no?
Why no? The reason I drink is because of the Enclave.
The Enclave.
It's
the
a dangerous
Enclave.
place.
Is that why? I noticed there was like a hush in the room a few minutes ago. Is there what's
Persuasion check?
Yeah. What could be bad about these people that are I guess here to help you? Let's see, 15 plus 18.
Yeah, she's a right prick.
Oh, listen, I don't know her. I just met her.
Yeah.
I just met her. She handed me tea and cookies, so she was all right with me.
The
But
Assembly sticks their nose in things. Lord Storm's trying to get it done, but you know, they always have to get their fingers into everything that's going on.
is it? I mean, aren't they here to help everybody?
Nah, they're always here for their own purposes. They say they're here for the greater good, but I don't trust them. Not as far as I can throw them. And there are nightmarish things in those mines.
So the rumor has it have you experienced anything in there firsthand, or?
We don't really go in the mines for obvious reasons.
Right.
I mean, I've dealt with some Enclaves. They're kind of scary, and every once in a while we get an incursion of goblins or some other sort of creature kind of stalking the outer rim of the Enclave from the forest. But other than that, really, I have no desire to deal with the creatures that the rest of these folk deal with. I'm not paid enough.
Do you often get outsiders coming in to help with the mines?
No, everybody's an outsider here. Everyone. They've all come for riches, to explore, for curiosity. Some of the things I've heard that they've faced in those mines. One died. And apparently came back.
Died and came back?
Yeah. That's the power that exists here in the Herethis Enclave. You're surrounded by some pretty formidable people, and if you just imagine as formidable as they are, what they're here to do, what they're here to accomplish, must be equally formidable, if not more. I heard of celestial beings, 20 feet tall, in the depths, the deepest reaches of Nukanos, the deepest reaches of the mine. Winged, celestial creatures, angels, some say. And the settlers killed them. If they're killing angels, we got another thing coming. And that's where we're going to end the session for this evening. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Hope you had a great time. We will see you next week If you liked what you saw tonight, as usual, consider hitting that bell icon and subscribing and liking the video and following us on Twitch and all that wonderful stuff that I have to say because we want people to know about what we do here at RealmSmith. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for joining. Aftermath this week is going to be amazing, especially of course with Hillary Z. And Hillary Z will be back for next week's episode. Stay tuned for episode 8 of season 3 of Into the Mist. Tides of Wildemount. Different plane altogether. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.